All right, everybody, what's going on? Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some news. Week 1 for the preseason is in the books, and let's get going here. Let's go over this news. Let's go to the news screen here. Pretty interesting week 1. I watched pretty much all of the games for the most part. I tried to watch as many of them as I could. Haven't been on in a while. I've been sick, working. Just yeah, not really a whole lot going on last week other than those two things, and so I haven't really been on for over a week now. I apologize about that. I'm gonna try to stay a little more active here this week. I do obviously got work and stuff this week as well, but I did try to watch as many of the games as I could as well. Obviously over Saturday and Sunday especially. All right, let's go over some of the kind of key news really for the weekend. I'm not really going to go over like what players did over the weekend. I mean, we'll talk about a couple of them, but I'm not going to go over every single player, every rookie, every notable guy really, unless it was, something, unless somebody brings a question up about it, then I'll talk about it. But until then, we're just going to kind of go over relative news here. So Kendre Miller, obviously I watched the Chiefs game yesterday. They played the Saints in the Superdome. Kendre Miller likely to miss a few weeks. Underwent tests that confirmed he suffered a knee sprain, and this is on the same knee that he was coming back from the meniscus tear from the college football playoff semifinal game back on New Year's Eve. I just thought it was kind of weird that he played. I thought that I didn't think that maybe. Oh my goodness! I didn't think that. Hold on, my tablet's catching up on a bunch of notifications here. Anyways. Yeah, I didn't think that Kendre Miller was going to be... I was kind of shocked that he suited up and that he played. And I'm just, that was January 1st or December 31st, New Year's Eve. And here he is, not even 8 months later on this torn meniscus that he had. It says, good news, Miller... for Miller and the Saints is that he will not require surgery, considering he had surgery last year to repair his MCL and meniscus. So he had a torn MCL and meniscus. Fantasy managers should expect Saints to turn to Jamal Williams week 1. Really what you should expect is to not draft this guy. I wouldn't even touch this guy. He was a sleeper on my sleeper list for next year. Not this year, but next year. This year, like I said, he was probably gonna. He's behind Jamal. He's behind Kamara, who only got 3-game suspension. He's coming off this torn MCL and meniscus, and so I looked for him to be a sleeper for you to maybe pick up into the season, maybe late in the season for next to nothing. If you're allowed to have keepers in your league, and maybe next year or something, and who knows. So, but. This was just kind of, I think I seen it happen in the game whenever I was watching. And then obviously Ellis Merriweather or whatever came in pretty much to finish out the whole second half of that first preseason game yesterday. But I was kind of confused as to why he was playing. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about though. This guy had to repair his MCL and meniscus. He came back today is August 14th of 2023. So about 8 months after what had happened, he's back. And he played and he re-injured it. Basically, it is the same knee. It doesn't say it here on this report right here that we're looking at, but it is on the same knee. I promise you guys, it's the same knee. It doesn't really say it's the same knee here, but I know it is because I looked it up earlier. So this is this is just a guy I'm staying away from, and I expect the Saints to go out and get another running back. Remember, they were looking at Kareem Hunt last week. I don't know if I had that news pulled up or not. They were no. So this happened during last week, whenever I did not go live. Kareem Hunt was obviously looking into signing with the Saints. He left without a deal after he had a meeting with the Saints, and then he went to the Colts. And so, but I would probably look for the Saints to sign somebody. Maybe they bring Kareem Hunt back to the table. Maybe they bring somebody like Zeke in, or somebody else. Who knows? I don't know if Zeke would really be a fit. Kareem Hunt could be an option. Maybe some other guy that's out there. I don't even know about Leonard Fournette either. So. All right, let's move on here. So Terrace Marshall leaves practice early today. So he left on the cart. Marshall was carted off practice field Monday, but the team has not released any information on the nature of the injury, so this doesn't really give us any insight to what it was. I wouldn't really look too much into it about him being on the cart. They always cart players off during training camp, during the preseason. They don't want them, being assisted off the field by players. Or they're going to end up using the cart just to be cautious, no matter what it is, even if it's not that big of an injury or whatever for somebody. I mean, you think about Joe Burrow, he had a strained calf. They used the cart to get him off. So don't look into it too much about him being helped off by the cart, but this is obviously a little bit of concern. Marshall is the third string receiver. This kind of opens the doorway a little bit for Mingo. I think Mingo was beating him out in practice anyways. Mingo did play against the Jets, this week in that preseason game, but he didn't catch anything. He didn't really see any balls thrown his way. He didn't really play too much, but he played a little bit. There wasn't really, he didn't get targeted at all, I don't think so. But I do, this is gonna open the door for Mingo a little bit. I think, depending on the severity of this injury, I think Mingo is kind of already a little bit ahead of him in practice, anyways, and so something to keep an eye on. Man, the Panthers did not look good at all, by the way. I don't know if you guys watched that game. They looked terrible. They didn't look too well. And I don't think there was hardly any. I mean, there was a couple of starters on defense for the Jets, but I don't think it was that many. The rookie Will McDonald, he got a sack. That guy's going to have his way with some people. But even just the second stringers on the defensive line were just dominating Carolina. Carolina looked horrible. They got shut out, and it was bad. So good for the Jets to get their first preseason win out of the way. We'll see it on Hard Knocks here in tomorrow night. It's good for, especially a team that's on Hard Knocks. It's good for them to go ahead and get their first win kind of out of the way. I know the preseason doesn't really matter, but usually the teams want to get at least one win out of the 3 games or 4 games in the case of the Jets, because they played in the Hall of Fame game. But oh man, the Panthers look terrible, dude. Look horrible on offense and everything. Bryce Young was in there for like 3 series, and he took a number of hits. I know he got up on every single one of them, which is good, but man, he can't take any, he can't take very many hits like he did in that preseason game, or he ain't gonna last very long. I mean, he got rocked on a couple of them. I couldn't believe it. Looks like we just got breaking news, kinda. It's not big news, but it looks like Zach Martin and the Cowboys have agreed to terms on a contract raise. Martin will receive more than $18 million per year through his contract. So Zach Martin had been sitting out. Looks like he has a contract raise. This was literally not too long ago. This was like 10 minutes ago or so. So that is good for the Dallas Cowboys. They need him on the offensive line. So, All right, let's go over some more news. We're getting down into the, to the good stuff here. Looks like Rachaad White suffered a non-contact injury at practice. This is not good at all. I am a little bit high on Rachaad White. I like him to a degree. I haven't been drafting him too much lately. I do think he was one of the guys from Tampa Bay who could survive this bad year that they're going to have, potentially, if he catches the ball enough, but this is not good. According to Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times, second-year running back Rachaad White, quote, buckled and fell without contact. I'm guessing his knee buckled, so buckled and fell without contact, came up limping. After taking a handoff in practice, he walked off the sideline under his own power, received attention from the trainers. It's Rick Stroud on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it now. Yeah, this is not good. Non-contact injuries are the worst. This is not good. Knee buckled, he was limping off practice field, so this was after a handoff too, so the Bucs are gonna be terrible this year. I don't know if you guys seen that preseason game at all either. Baker's probably gonna be the starting quarterback. Trask looked horrible. They're probably gonna split first half and second half again this coming preseason game this week. And then, but I think it's going to be settled pretty much after this game that they got coming up this week, because Trask looked terrible. Baker didn't look good either, but he looked better than Trask. The Buccaneers are going to be horrible. I'm telling you guys this. I've been saying this. I've been screaming this from the hills over the last few weeks, months, everything. The Buccaneers are going to be terrible this year. I don't know if I want Evans or Godwin. If I had to choose, I would probably take Godwin. Godwin's not as old. Does have a little bit of an injury history, but he's not as old. He doesn't have as many mileage on him. They're going to start putting Godwin, I think, on the outside a little more this year. If I had to choose one, I'm taking Godwin over Mike Evans. I'm not taking both of them. I don't know. I really don't even know if I would want Godwin where he is. He would have to fall a little bit. There's a good chance, like in your home leagues, he could fall into like round 7 or 8. Hopefully, like round 8 would be nice. So I think I'm pretty much out on White at this point. I'm not gonna draft him. I'm not even, unless he goes in like round 11 or 12 or something like that. I'm not even gonna consider drafting White, especially after this news. Maybe we'll get some more info on this. I thought White would be one of the guys who could survive fantasy-wise in this offense, because he's a running back who can catch the ball, and he's got such a bad offense that I think is going to be the Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay this year is going to be so bad on offense. I feel like he could have survived catching dump-off passes from Baker, who is a little bit of a dump-off quarterback to a degree, and so but with this news right here about him, his knee buckling, I'm guessing it's his knee. It doesn't say his knee buckled, but it says buckled and fell. So, this is not good, especially on if it's non-contact injury. This is not good, because that just means it could potentially be serious. So, all right, let's move on to the last two pieces here of kind of big news. If you guys want to go over something else, just let me know. All the other pieces of news on here, for the most part, are basically what players did in the preseason. So, and I pretty much, for the most part, I went back and watched as much of the footage as I could, highlights and everything else. J.K. Dobbins activated from the PUP list. Okay, so this is good news for people who are going to be high on Dobbins, people who own him or who want him. He was on the PUP list because he was holding in, okay? For those of you guys out there who don't know this, this is why. He wasn't on the PUP list because he's injured. The PUP list is physically unable to perform list. The reason he was on this list was because of, his unhappiness with his contract. Even though he hasn't really done anything, because he's been injured so much throughout his, the beginning of his career. But he is on the last year of his contract. You know, the Ravens are going to throw the ball a ton this year, I think, compared to recent years. They're going to throw the ball a ton. I think we've seen that in that Philadelphia preseason game for the most part. They did run the ball a little bit here and there, but I think they're going to sling it this year. They're going to throw it a ton compared to what we're used to. He came off the PUP list today. My guess is he's coming off because he knows that he's got to get out there. I think we had a pretty good showing from Gus. Gus Edwards had a pretty good showing. And I don't know if Justice Hill played too much. I would have to look that up. How much did Justice Hill play? Do we know? Let me check real quick. I think Justice Hill played a little bit, but I know Gus Edwards had a pretty good day. He was pretty efficient. And let me just look here real quick. Yeah, Gus went 4 for 21. Justice Hill had 3 for 48. So yeah, both of those guys were pretty efficient with the first team offense. The first and second team offense for the most part. Gus caught a ball. Keaton Mitchell and Melvin Gordon caught a ball. I think Melvin Gordon's probably going to get cut if I had to guess. Yeah. Dobbins he knows he's got to get back. He knows he's got to get back to practice. He's got to get ready for the season because they're not going to give him anything. And this is what teams do. Like when players are on the PUP list like this, like Dobbins, which he's basically holding in. And, but then you see the backup and the other backup, Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, go out and have a pretty solid day in the first preseason game. And that just, the team basically sends a message to the player like, okay, you don't want to play. Well, we'll just roll with these two guys right here who, they're going to get us by. They may not be quite as talented as you, but they're talented enough to, to where we can get by. We're going to throw the ball a lot anyways. As far as Gus Edwards, or as far as J.K. Dobbins goes, I'm drafting him less now. I don't like that he was holding in like this. I do think the Ravens are going to throw the ball a ton. Dobbins isn't really a receiving back. They're going to use Justice Hill for that more so than anybody. And there's a chance that you see Gus maybe take some touches from him as well. And Gus is a big guy who can run between the tackles. Who, we'll see. I don't think he'll get too much work as long as Dobbins stays healthy. But not as high as on Dobbins. You got Pierce, you got Akers who go really like after Dobbins or really kind of right around the same range as Dobbins does. I'd rather have those guys. I would probably even rather have Miles Sanders. It's close right now. It's close between him and Sanders for me because Sanders is probably going to get more work as long as he stays healthy, but Dobbins is on a better team. So, all right, let's go to our last piece of news here for the day, and then we'll probably jump into a draft, and then I'll answer any questions if you guys have any questions at all. Jonathan Taylor here returns to camp, remains on the PUP list though. This guy, I'm hoping this guy just comes back because I don't really want to draft him, but I don't want him to fall like in a couple of my home leagues. I don't want him to fall until the third round, but it's trending that way. So Jonathan Taylor returned to Colts camp after spending time away rehabbing his ankle, remains on the PUP list and his stance with the Colts has not changed. It's going to have to, and it's just brought to us by Ian Rappaport on Twitter. He's going to have to change his stance, bro. He is screwed. The running backs are screwed. Whether he likes it or not, that's just the way it is, okay? It's just the way it is right now. It is what it is. And there's nothing that these guys can do until 2030, until the collective bargaining agreement's changed. Because that's when it expires. It doesn't expire for 7 years. So this guy just needs to come back, work his ass off, and try to put together a good season, and you know, hopefully the team can maybe be opened up to maybe giving him a somewhat of a long-term contract. You know, maybe not quite what he's looking for, but maybe more than what Barkley got, you know, or something like that. Maybe he gets maybe 13 million a year. We'll see. But what he's doing right now is not going to help the cause at all. It's not going to help out his situation with the organization. You know, and I know he wants, you know, he wants to compensate himself correctly and try to get the most money that he can, this and that, but he's going about it, in my opinion, the wrong way. But he doesn't really have a choice, man. He doesn't have a choice. He can sit out, or he can sit out and not get paid, and then, you know, I mean, he's not going to do that. If he did that, I would be shocked. I would be utterly shocked, and his career would be, he'd probably have one step out the door at that point, as far as his career goes. But he's going to come back. You know, this is good that he returned to camp, but he needs to get off the PUP list. I'm avoiding this guy at all costs. I really am. I'm out. I'm completely out on Taylor. He's gonna have to fall to like round 4 for me to draft him. I'm not drafting him at the beginning of round 3. I'm not drafting him in the middle of round 3. I'm just not doing it. I'm not taking the risk. I'm not taking the risk on somebody who is just rehabbing his ankle that he had surgery on from last year. And the people who drafted him last year, I mean, they didn't win their leagues. Let's just put it that way. And then you have all this turmoil with the organization on top of that. I'm hoping somebody in my home leagues takes this guy in round 2, because I'm not, if he's there in round 2, I'm not taking him. I will roll the dice on a receiver or something before I even think about taking this guy. So, because this is, you got to avoid players that are going through stuff like this in the off season. Really, I say the off season, it's really training camp time. It's really, I mean, it's preseason now, but what he went through with the off season leading up to now and the preseason, you have week 1 less than a month away, really 4 weeks away, 3.5 weeks away. I'm out on this guy. I'm not drafting this guy in auction. I'm not drafting him in redraft. I have like no shares of him in best ball, and I continue to not have any shares of him because people draft him too soon. And so, you know, he's, as much time as he's missing right now in the preseason, after coming off that ankle injury, he's going to have compensation injuries, or he's going to get re-injured in some form or fashion because he's been missing so much training camp, this and that. I'm out, dude. I'm out. And then on top of it, the turmoil within the organization doesn't help either. He doesn't want to be there. He's not happy. Who's to say that this guy goes out and plays and gets like a little nick or bruise or whatever, and then he sits out a couple of weeks, even though he could probably play through the injury? Who's to say that doesn't happen? And so at this point, man, I am out. I told you guys I was out about a week ago. I'm definitely out now. Like, there's no chance of me drafting this guy this year. I'll let somebody else take the risk. Just like with Javonte Williams, I'll let somebody else take the risk this year. And if I'm wrong about it, then I'm wrong about it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to play the probability and the percentage numbers, which are in my favor if I don't draft guys like Taylor or Javonte. I'm playing the probability. I'm playing the probability game where you have probably the better probability of avoiding a bad situation if you don't draft this guy. So, and that is that. All right, the Puppy 3 is finally out. It's finally here. I've been calling on it for like a couple weeks now. I don't know where it's been, but it's finally here. Let's go ahead and jump into a puppy right now. Puppy 3. This should be the last puppy contest of the year. They have a ton of entries that you can enter into, and we have pick number 10, starting off in a good, we're starting off good here. Looks like we got more breaking news actually right now. Zeke Zeke just signed a 1-year deal with the Patriots. So Zeke just signed a 1-year deal with the Patriots. This is good. This is good news. This just came down. Let me get to the draft here. So Zeke is with the Patriots now on a 1-year deal. This is good. This does hurt Stevenson a little bit, but I'm more inclined to draft Stevenson now. It is Stevenson season. People are going to freak out about this and be like, oh, I'm not drafting Stevenson now. This is good news for Stevenson because Zeke is old. He is pretty much done. He's at the end of the road. Will he get some goal line touches over Stevenson? Sure, he will. But at the same time, there's a chance that Zeke maybe ends up getting hurt. There's a good chance that we see Zeke maybe have an injury come up because of how old and wore down he is. You guys remember Damian Harris missed a few games last year. I think we could see something similar this year with Zeke now as a New England Patriot. I would rather have Zeke in New England than have Fournette or Kareem Hunt in New England. Let's just put it that way. At the end of the day, the Patriots were going to go get another running back. I would rather it be Zeke versus Fournette or Kareem Hunt because I think Fournette and Kareem Hunt have more in the tank. So would you drop Damian Harris for Zeke? Nay or yay? Right now I would, yeah. I think Harris is already battling injury, and they got Latavius Murray in Buffalo right now, who I think is better than Damian Harris. And so I don't think Harris is going to really be a factor in that offense. They don't like to run the ball in Buffalo anyways. So why does this not show my draft? There it is. This is good for Stevenson, though. I know a lot of people might think this is not good for Stevenson, but it is. Zegas Walsh won't hurt Stevenson at all. Yeah, I don't think so either. All right. God, I hate having a number 10 pick, man. The guy took Chubb. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go St. Brown. Yeah, those are his two choices. Find the tallest building. That ain't no. Yeah. Oh, I hope you're talking about like a running back number 4 on your roster or something. That can't be a guy that you're worried about starting. I hope. Might even get cut before the season starts. Let's see him in a preseason game. We don't know if it's agreed now. I don't even know if you'll see him in a preseason game though. That's the thing. You're not going to see. I mean, you might see Stevenson in like the last game of the preseason. Zeke, I don't. You might see him for like a series. You're not going to see him a whole. A ton. All right. I don't know why Bijan's still on the board. We're going to take him here. I wasn't going to take Bijan. They got news here. Bijan expected to play in preseason game number 2 this week, so he probably won't play a ton, but yeah, we'll take Bijan if he's there. I wasn't going to take him in the first round. I just wanted to go something different, but pick number 15, I got no choice. I know Barkley's there. I kind of wanted Barkley. This guy took Derrick Henry and Olave at the 12 spot. That's a little different. I don't think I've ever seen that. I think Derrick Henry could be okay this year. Tennessee's offensive line didn't look too bad. The first team offensive line for the most part I think was out there whenever Tyjae Spears was playing, and Tyjae Spears didn't look too bad behind that offensive line. I think Derrick Henry would have fared pretty well. I know Chicago didn't have a ton of their starters on defense. This is the thing with this preseason stuff. People are going to overreact like, oh my God, Tennessee's offense looks really, really good. The offensive line looks a lot better than what people were saying it was going to be. Don't don't get it twisted. This could be one of the worst offensive lines that Henry has ever seen down there in Tennessee. For his career. Now they did look decent, but you got to think the Bears. They had a few starters out there, but on the defensive line, they didn't have Ngakoue out there. They didn't have a ton of guys on the defensive line out there that were starters. And I think the Titans pretty much had their starting offensive line out there. They had the guy that they drafted, Skoronski, out there. They pretty much had their whole offensive line out there for a few series. The Bears look pretty decent on offense. Obviously, I don't know how much you can credit that to bad defense from Tennessee. I mean, 2 screens went for a touchdown, one to Herbert, one to DJ Moore. I would love to kind of see, and hopefully we'll see it in week 2 or week 3 for the Bears, but I'd like to see Fields actually throw the ball down the field a little bit. He didn't really have to. He threw a wide receiver screen and a running back screen and it went to the house, so I mean, obviously it was pretty efficient, pretty good day for the first team offense for the Bears, but at the same time we didn't really get to see Fields kind of sling it down the field a little bit to Moore. So maybe we'll have to wait till about preseason week 3 for that. Yeah, I like this for Stevenson. I don't mind Zeke at all. I think Zeke's a non-factor for me. He might take a couple of goal line touches, but that's fine. And at the same time, I think there's a chance that you might see Zeke maybe miss a few games like we seen Damien Harris miss a few games last year. I know Zeke hasn't really missed a ton of games throughout his career, but he's getting to that age and he's got a ton of mileage on him where it wouldn't shock me if he missed a few games this year. And we see something similar to last year with Stevenson, where he finished as running back number 7, number 8, depending on the league you were in. And it was because he got more playing time because of Damien Harris missing time. So if Zeke misses time, I'm not going to be, I wouldn't be shocked. God, this guy just sniped me. He took Breece Hall. I was going to take Breece Hall. Okay. I think I don't have much of Lamar. I'm going to take Lamar right here. I think he's one of the better picks here in round 3. I'm not taking Amari Cooper. I'm not taking Jerry Jeudy especially, and I'm not taking Josh Jacobs. Keenan Allen, I could, but I don't feel like I have to have him. I feel like Lamar is the better option here. DJ Moore, the ref missed a block in the bag. That's front. Yeah. Walker, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I'm hoping Kenneth Walker comes back to practice this week, man. I don't like guys being out for long periods of time. I know he just has a groin injury, but he needs to get his ass back to practice. Dude, the refs missed a bunch of calls over the weekend. I'm not, because I watched pretty much almost every game, and it was like, dude, I didn't have a bet. I there's some people that bet preseason. I usually play DFS on DraftKings. I'll play like DFS lineups, but I'm gonna take this guy. I think this guy's in for a big year. This guy's in for a big year right here. Okay, this guy's in for a big year. I'm gonna call it right now. The Packers don't look really that bad. I know the first string defense for the Bengals pretty much wasn't out there, but that play that Love threw to Watson deep, I mean, that was a really good ball. If it was maybe a couple, like a foot or two out there, a little more out in front of the defender, out over the defender, Watson would have been walking into the end zone on like a 60 or 70 yard bomb. That was actually a really good throw by Love. That was just a really good play by the defensive back to knock that away. But you're going to see a ton of that, like Love just throwing a deep vertical route to Watson, and he beat, he blew by the corner on that play. Just blew by him because he's got track speed. And so, but yeah, there was a ton of like calls that I feel like the refs just like, I don't know, dude. I don't like to talk about it like when it comes to the NFL, but the refs, man, they piss me off. I swear they're on the payroll, dude, for, you know what I mean? I swear. I was talking about betting. I'm trying to think of what was the line for that Chiefs game yesterday. Of course, obviously I'm a big Chiefs fan. I live here in Kansas City, which I couldn't believe Andy Reid threw the ball there at the end of the game. Anybody watch that? Anybody know what I'm talking about? So the Chiefs were up 24-23, and they had like a minute 10 left. They had like a minute 10 left, and the Saints were out of timeouts. They could have just ran the ball. Probably got no gain or one or 2 yards. They weren't going to get the first down, more than likely. And then they would have punted the ball with like 20 seconds left. They would have punted the ball back to the Saints, 20 seconds left, probably win the game by 1 point. Instead, they tried to throw a stupid like screen pass out to the right to the running back, and the defensive end for the Saints picks it off, and then they kick a field goal to beat them 26-24. And the spread on that game was like Saints -1, Saints -1.5. Basically, the Saints were going to have to win by 2 to cover, I think. And they covered because of that stupid play call. I was like, dude, if I would have had money on the Chiefs, like money line, if anybody would have had the Chiefs money line, they would have had plus money. Or even if they had the Chiefs to cover, they didn't cover. Because I think the spread was like 1 at game time. It might have been 1.5. I don't know. But I was like, I seen that at the very end of the game, and I was just thinking about the spread. I was like, I cannot believe that Andy Reid threw the ball right there. What do you think of Stevenson now in a full PPR with Elliott? I still like him. Especially in round 3. If you get him in round 4, hopefully he would fall to like round 4 in a full PPR league, or if you're like if your home league is full PPR. I really like him, because I think you're going to see something very, very similar this year to what you've seen last year with him and Damian Harris. And I think there's a very decent chance that he misses some time. Zeke misses some time. So what are we going to do here? I'm taking this guy early, but I don't really care. I'm like all in on this guy. I'm pretty much all in on Dameon Pierce this year, especially in this league, in this format where it's half PPR. It's not really a big bonus to have a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. We're gonna probably take a receiver next, unless like Hawkinson falls to me. Says Hawkinson has an ear infection. Ooh, sucks. I'm a little sick, so I'm sorry if I don't sound very good. I've been sick for like the last week. Yeah, I still like Stevenson, man. I still like Stevenson. We'll see if he catches the ball. I'm hoping he catches the ball out of the backfield maybe a little more this year. We'll see. I know they got new offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, there now. But I think Bill O'Brien being there should help him. Let's go. I'm not drafting Marquise Brown. I really don't want Sanders either. I'm taking this guy. This guy's balling out this year too. Once it goes through here. There we go. Taking Dotson. I thought about Tyler Lockett, but I want Dotson on this team. Tyler Lockett would have been the other guy I was probably going to take. Dotson, oh my goodness, Dotson, he's going to be good this year. He's another breakout, second year breakout guy. I think he pretty much showed that for the most part in the preseason game. I mean, we've obviously been on Dotson for a while. This guy's the real deal. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns in 12 games last year. I think that Sam Howell ends up being the quarterback, and so I think he likes Dotson a little more than Terry McLaurin. I think as long as Sam Howell is the quarterback, Dotson's going to be a beneficiary to that. I mean, I think they're both going to be okay, but I think Dotson's going to could end up being maybe a guy who catches more balls than McLaurin this year. We'll see. As long as he stays healthy, obviously. See if they got any more news that it came down. Yeah, dude, I'm not worried about Zeke at all, dude. Zeke he's done. He's done, dude. Like I said, I would rather them go out and sign Zeke than sign somebody like Fournette, who would battle with Stevenson for catches out of the backfield. Somebody like Kareem Hunt, who probably has a little bit more juice in the tank. I'm glad that they went out and got Zeke, because I don't think it really affects Stevenson too much. And I think it should drop his ADP a little bit, which is also good. So maybe you get him for a little cheaper. If he fell to like if Stevenson fell down here to 35, 36, 37, 38, that would be magnificent. I would take him every single time. So this is good for Stevenson, man. This is good for Stevenson. Like I said, Zeke is he was one of the worst efficiency running backs last year. His efficiency numbers were so below average compared to your average running back. It's not even funny. The guy probably showed up out of shape today. I wouldn't be shocked. So like that, I mean, like here's the thing: the Patriots were gonna go get a running back. They missed out on Hopkins. They were gonna go get another running back. They were looking at Leonard Fournette. Obviously Zeke, and it ends up being Zeke. Zeke would have been the best player out of the bunch that they were looking at to go there, because Zeke has the least amount of ability, I think, to take touches and workage away from Stevenson. So like Damian Harris, when healthy, is probably a better running back than Zeke right now at this stage of his career. So that's why I'm not, like I said, I'm not worried about him at all. All right, so Dobbins falls to round 7. We talked about Dobbins, obviously, coming back to practice, coming off of the PUP list. That's because, obviously, like I said, you got Justice Hill and Gus the Bus having a pretty good day. And that's why he's coming back. Because he knows that if he doesn't, he's going to get his job taken. Man, look at Zay Flowers jumping up the ADP rankings here. I'm going to go... I need another running back immediately. I'm not taking Rachaad White. James Cook, I know he scored. He's okay. I don't like him really in this format much. I'm taking Kamara. I think this is a steal. Kendre Miller injured his knee again. Yesterday in the game, same knee that he had the torn MCL meniscus on, that he had surgery on. The Saints are probably going to go get another running back, but it's going to be a nobody. It's going to be somebody who is not compete. It's going to be Kamara and Jamal Williams this year. That's literally going to be the backfield for the Saints. Kamara's missing 3 games. We'll tough it out for 3 games. I think he should have got way more games than what he got. This right here is a steal. This guy should be going like round 4 or 5 in my opinion, Kamara. So we get him here at the end of round 7 as our 3rd running back. It's game on pretty much after week 3 with this team. We'll tough it out with Bijan and Pierce for the first 3 weeks. I do have Lamar, so I want to get Zay Flowers right here, unless one of these guys take him. This guy just took Dobbs? What's going on here?
What an idiot.
This guy did not just take Romeo Dobbs. I know Dobbs caught a touchdown, but this guy reaching? Is this guy trolling us? This guy, he's got 3 tight ends now. I was actually thinking about Goddard there, but that's fine. I like Sky Moore, dude, a ton. Give me Zay. I'm gonna take a chance here. I'm gonna stack him with Lamar Jackson. Starting running backs are McCaffrey, ETN, bench are Gibson, Charbonnet, and Zeke. Yeah, that's fine, Wendigo. That's fine. Bro, if I got ETN though right now, I'm gonna be realistic with you. If I have ETN right now, I want Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby is, I don't know if he's a league winner, but there's a chance. There's a chance that he could be a league winner, especially if something happens to ETN. I'm gonna try to get ETN, and I mean I have plenty of ETN, but in this draft I'm gonna try to get ETN in this draft, or not ETN, Bigsby. Tank Bigsby in this draft. Bigsby is one of those guys down here in round 11, round 12 that, I mean, there's not many other players around him in the draft that you're just like, yeah, I have to have that guy. No, Bigsby I think is one of those guys. I think out of all the rookie running backs that are backups, okay, so we're talking about Charbonnet, we're talking about Bigsby, I would say Gibbs and Bijan are kind of in a different category because I don't really consider those guys backups. But like Charbonnet, Bigsby, who else am I forgetting? I would say that Bigsby is the one that I want because he's already taking goal line touches away. He got some pretty good work in the preseason game, 2 days ago. And if ETN has any fumble issues like he had last year, remember ETN coughed the ball up 5 times last year. If there's any kind of injury, you know, which knock on wood that there's not, but if there is, Bigsby could be a league winner in my opinion. So, I mean, that guy's the real deal. He had a 15+% target share in college his last year there at Auburn. Like with Charbonnet's price tag right here at the beginning of round 9, whereas I know Bigsby's kind of climbed up the ADP, but you can get Bigsby like right here at the kind of the middle to end of round 11. I like his price tag a little better. You're getting two rounds worth of value that's cheaper than Charbonnet, and I think you're getting a better running back. So, and you're probably getting a guy who's going to get more carries, more work as well. So, and if, like I said, if I get ETN, I'm not totally out on ETN right here. Like, this is good value at 46, but I'm trying to get Bigsby. Yeah, but Deuce Vaughn isn't really the backup though. Deuce Vaughn is really the 3rd stringer. I think there's a chance he pushes for the backup role, but I'm not, you know. So Cook hasn't signed anywhere. He's still on the board. Yeah, if Tank Bigsby's out there, yeah, go get Tank Bigsby. It's not even a question. I'm gonna go get this guy. Odell is like the only receiver here on the board, and I'm not drafting Odell. I know I got Lamar Jackson, but I'm not taking. I'm going to take Herbert. I think Herbert he's clearly the RB1. Now that we know Herbert is clearly kind of the RB1 there in Chicago, give me Herbert. I still might try to get Roschon here. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to need Roschon, though. Herbert, I think. Roschon wasn't too bad in the preseason game, but I think Herbert is just kind of a clear cut. He's clear cut a little bit better than him and Foreman. I'm not worried about Foreman at all. I think Roschon's better than Foreman. Roschon's probably going to be the backup running back. But I think Herbert is kind of a clear-cut RB #1. And he's not a bad running back. We've seen him do pretty well behind Montgomery. Montgomery the last 2 years. And obviously, in the games where Monty missed, Herbert fared pretty well for us over the last couple of years. So Cook is still on the board. Where's Dalvin Cook going to go? Is he going to go down to Miami? This guy might think so because he just took Tua and then he took Dalvin. All right, what are we gonna do here? We could use another quarterback. We have 4 receivers. We have 4. We could use a tight end. I'm gonna go get Cousins. I think Cousins is a safe #2. Of course, I think these guys both have the same bye week. What am I thinking? They both have the same bye week? They do. Whoops. Do I like London this year in the 5th round? To a degree, I do. To a degree. I don't think he's a bad pick in round 5. Where did he went? He went right here, round 4 this draft. The thing about this right here, about taking London like right here, is that I think this is a little early for Deontay. I do like Deontay this year, but I think this is a little early. I liked him back when I was getting him like back here. I think Addison, this is the thing about London. I feel like you could pass, like right here, I would pass on him. I don't know if I would take him right here. I wouldn't take him too often right here in the middle of round 4. I would want to get him like in the middle of round 5 or towards the beginning of round 5. Who am I missing? Where's this guy at? I'm looking for Kirk. Here he is. Christian Kirk went early. I was gonna say Kirk is a guy that I would probably want over London, really over a lot of these guys, you know, Moore and McLaurin. Where's DJ Moore at? This guy took DJ Moore early too. This is a little early for these guys. I would like these guys obviously over London, but I would want them like down here at the end of round 4, beginning of round 5. Yeah, I think London's ADP is a little higher. It's definitely high right now where he's going. You got Harris on another team. Okonkwo is a tight end sleeper. Yeah, Okonkwo is a guy that I was interested in him, and then I kind of fell. I didn't really draft him too much once Hopkins went to Tennessee, but he's been going so late now in some of these drafts. I've seen him fall to like right here where my 13th round pick would be. Like I've seen him fall to the 150 range consistently, and if he falls there, it's going to be tough not to take him, in my opinion. See, Freiermuth and Kincaid win. I was hoping one of those tight ends would fall to me here. I was hoping that like Kincaid would be there. That's why I did not take Freiermuth. So we probably messed up a little bit. We probably should have taken see, look at Tank Bigsby's ADP. It's 127.1 now. think Bigsby used to be like 140 something easily. I'm taking him here because he's not going to be there on the way back. We probably should have taken a tight end right here. We probably should have taken Freiermuth or Kincaid where I took Cousins. But oh well, we're just going to have to adapt. Like I said, I think, especially in basketball, I think if there's any position that you can kind of wait on, especially if you don't get like Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews or somebody like that, this is obviously really good value for Hawkinson. Like if you don't get those guys, I think the best position to just wait on is tight end. How many running backs we got? 5. I'm hopping on this train right here. I'm taking Jefferson, Van Jefferson. I think Jefferson's a little bit of a sleeper at receiver this year, to be honest. I think Jefferson's one of those guys, especially if we see Kupp miss some time maybe because of this hamstring issue. Of course, I don't even really think it matters. I know, look, the Rams should be throwing the ball a ton this year because they're gonna be terrible. Their defense is horrible. Their defense is gonna be so bad this year. But you guys seen Stetson Bennett? If you guys watched the Charger game with the Rams and the Chargers, Stetson Bennett, he can sling the ball too. And they're going to be able to sling the ball in that offense, you know, I think, for the most part. And so I think Jefferson and Kupp, if Kupp can stay healthy, I think they both could have pretty solid years this year. And I do like Akers as well. I think Akers is going to catch the ball out of the backfield a little more than usual now that Mike LaFleur is there. I'm gonna, so Greg Dulcich is still on the board. Greg Dulcich is gonna fall. He's gonna fall a ton because he's apparently tight end number 2 right now in Denver. So Dulcich should be there for me. Schultz and Okonkwo, like I said, watch. I bet you Okonkwo falls to me right here. I wouldn't be shocked. His ADP is 147.2. I was hoping that Everett would stay on the board. I was actually thinking about taking Everett as like my second tight end. That kind of sucks. Cole Kmet went. Taysom Hill is still there. Taysom Hill caught a ball yesterday. I do like Juwan Johnson. Where's Juwan Johnson at? Juwan Johnson's at 181.9. Ooh. I do like Juwan Johnson a little bit. I don't know if I want to go both of the Saints tight ends. Got a lot of good players on the board right now. We'll see how far Kendre Miller falls. I bet you Kendre falls like round 18 or something, like round 16, 17 probably. I was going to go live earlier today, like around noon. I went to the gym instead because my power was out. And so, which I don't even know why the power was out because it's really nice outside. I don't know. Somebody must have like knocked down a telephone pole or something. I don't know. Kevin Valentine, what's up, man? We're just picking from the 10 spot right now, kind of getting all our players stolen from us here. There goes Okonkwo. So Dulcich is still on the board. There goes Pierce. I like Pierce a little bit. I told you guys I've been all over this guy. I'm gonna keep drafting him. This is a little early, but I told you this guy was going to be really, really good. I think he will be pretty good this year. Jaden Reed. This guy was balling in the preseason game the other night. It was a shame that they didn't leave him out there for longer, but he's clearly, I think, wide receiver number 3 for the Packers. I think the Packers are going to be okay this year. I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. I think they're over under win totals like 8.5. I expect probably 8 or 9 wins. Dang, that guy just took Juwan Johnson. What's going on, dude? What's going on? Why is that guy taking my guy? Do we just go dirt cheap tight end at this point? I think we do, because they've taken kind of all the guys I was thinking about taking here. I really want Jordan Love is the problem, but I need a tight end. I'm going to take... They're saying this guy looks really good. He didn't really play at all in that Packers game, but they're saying he's looking pretty good, so we'll take a chance, I guess. I'm not super high on him, but we'll take him. Have Olave as my keeper in 9th and 11th pick. Would you go Chubb if Saquon and Bijan are gone? And a wide receiver, double wide receiver like Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra combo. Full PPR, 2 flex spots. Ooh. 2 flex spots, full PPR. How many receiver spots do you have? 2 or 3? Let me know how many receiver spots you have. If it's 2 or 3, then it could matter. I'm assuming you have 2 RB spots. I would... Hopefully Saquon or Bijan would be there. Those would be my 1 and 2. I would take Chubb if they were both gone. And you could go 2 receivers, but it is full PPR. You could go 2 receivers. If you want 2 receivers, I would probably go... I would want St. Brown as one of them. Diggs and CeeDee Lamb is like a toss-up. I would probably take Diggs. But CeeDee wouldn't be a bad option either. Michael Mayer. I ain't taking Michael Mayer. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex. It's full PPR though. You have Olave already as 1 receiver. Yeah, I would go... Because you already got 1 receiver. I wouldn't go 2 running backs unless you got like Bijan and Barkley, which probably won't happen. I don't know. You have 9 and 11, so it could happen. If you have 9 and 11 and you think you could get Bijan, like let's just say Bijan and Barkley are both on the board, I would take Bijan first. Probably. It's kind of a toss-up. I don't know. You could make an argument for Barkley over Bijan. Bijan's got the less injury risk, though, is the thing. But I would maybe take both of them, and then you could go get like some of these later receivers. You could try to get like Addison. You could try to get Jahan Dotson. You could try to get Christian Watson. But it is full PPR, so I would probably get at least 1 receiver. And that receiver for me would be St. Brown. You have Olave in the 9th round. I'll have the 11th and 14th pick. Okay, so you're drafting right here where this guy drafted, where he got Eckler and CeeDee Lamb. You have Olave in the 9th because of what, he's your keeper, right? You just have 1 keeper. You don't have multiple keepers. You just have 1. I mean, it is full PPR, and you have 2 flex spots. I think you can wait on running back this year to a degree. I would like Barkley or Bijan, but I would make sure I get a receiver. You could go 2 receivers though. You could just skip out on Bijan and Barkley's. Like let's just say Barkley and Bijan are both gone. I would probably pass on running back unless you go like Tony Pollard, which I don't know if somebody's keeping him or not. Tony Pollard I would take Pollard over Chubb in a full PPR league. because he's just going to catch the ball. So when the 9th round comes, you get Olave. Okay, well, that's a good keeper then, obviously. I mean, if you're getting Olave in the 9th round, that's a good keeper for you. I would, like I said, it's close, man. If somebody's keeping Pollard, I would want Pollard, say if Bijan and Barkley go. I would take Pollard over Chubb. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but look at that. Jordan Love fell to us. Can you believe that? Can you believe Jordan Love fell to us like that? That's crazy. So we got Jordan Love, we got Reed, and we got Christian Watson. We're balling right now. We'll try to get Musgrave too. Only keepers are going to be Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Kenneth Walker, and then obviously Chris Olave. Okay. Well, if that's the case, it's a tough decision, man. I do like St. Brown. I mean, Diggs could probably have more volume than, more than likely have more volume this year than him unless he gets injured. St. Brown's going to ball out, though, the first 6 weeks while Jameson Williams is gone. He's going to get like 15 targets a game. We're taking this guy because this guy is really good. Probably should have taken Musgrave though. I can't believe Musgrave's ADP is so high. That's crazy. Yeah, one keeper. Other positions are Rachaad White, 12th. Don't keep. I don't know, man. Are you gonna keep Rachaad White in the 12th and then Pickens or Deshaun in the 14th? Pickens. Oh, those are your other options. Okay. Yeah, don't. Yeah, I would go with Olave. Go with Olave. That's a no-brainer. Thinking of double wide receivers like CD, Amon-Ra, and then go Gibbs, Harris, Aaron Jones. In the 3rd, got to think one will fall. Well, Gibbs would be ideal, especially in full PPR. Aaron Jones is going to catch more than Harris this year. I promise you that. Harris is going to be a strictly kind of between the tackles kind of guy. He'll catch a couple balls here and there. I know he caught like 41 last year, and then obviously he caught like 74 his rookie year, but that was because Roethlisberger was the quarterback. He'll probably catch somewhere in the ballpark of 30 to 40 this year, but yeah, hopefully Gibbs would be the guy that falls you. Then you could go 2 receivers. I like. Trying to think, if I had to choose between CD and Diggs, I'm taking. I think I'm gonna take. Man, it's close between CD and Diggs. I'm not gonna lie, it's close. CD's younger. He's kind of coming into his prime for the most part. Diggs is 30. There's always a chance of injury with those guys that are 30, 31 years old. You look at Kupp right now, who's dealing with a hamstring issue. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Diggs, but it's possible. I would probably go CD and St. Brown if I had to. I think I would. I think I would just pass on Diggs. I haven't really drafted Diggs too much this year. I know he goes 6th, 7th, 8th overall for the most part. But I probably do have more of CeeDee Lamb than I do of Stephon Diggs. So this is really good value on Sam Howell. I can't believe he got him down here at the beginning of round 17. That's crazy. Do that real quick. Wait, how about Trey Lance yesterday? He looked terrible, huh? Trey Lance, this guy's got Purdy down here. This is, yeah. Stay away from Trey Lance this year, everybody. If you guys didn't know, he's terrible. That guy's done. That guy needs to get traded and go somewhere, and he is just terrible, man. That touchdown pass that he got yesterday was the luckiest thing ever. He made a horrible throw that should have got picked off, And then it ends up, you know, falling in the hands of Ross Dwelly, the tight end for the Niners, and he gets a touchdown. I mean, that guy looked terrible. I mean, Darnold looked better than he did. I'm not going to lie. Darnold, he looked better. Darnold's probably the backup quarterback there in Niner country. I mean, he looks terrible. Trey Lance looks terrible, dude. I hate to beat on a man when he's down, but gosh, he looked terrible. This guy took Musgrave, dude. What an idiot. Took my guy. Well, this guy should be the starter. I know they're saying, what's his face? Zach Ertz is supposed to be. Yeah, see, this guy took Ertz. I know he's the starter and he's ready for week 1, blah, blah, blah. But I think you could see Ertz probably get hurt again this year. Yeah, but I would want Gibbs probably over. I don't know, it's close between him and Harris, man. It's close. Harris is probably gonna get you more rushing yards. So if you wanted to go the bell cow guy, then I wouldn't blame you, but it is full PPR, so Trey Lance is Swiss cheese. Yeah, he's got so many holes in this game. Yeah, I ain't worried about Zeke, bro. Zeke is obsolete for me, dude. I've already been over, I mean, some of you guys might be new. I've went over my, you know, I've went over advanced stats for running backs. Zeke is done. He's done. Like, an electric vehicle, a full electric vehicle has more gas in the tank than Zeke does. That's basically what I would say. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This tight end room that I got is terrible. I want to go get another receiver. I would want to get Nacua. I would like to go get Puka Nacua, but I need another tight end because my tight end room is so freaking bad. We're gonna take Likely. He's a Baltimore Raven. We got Jackson to go with him. Hopefully he catches a little bit more this year. We'll see. You don't think Gibbs will fall to you? 35th pick is late. Yeah. Zeke was a goat. Yeah, he was a goat, but keyword, he was a goat. Not anymore. I'm glad he went to New England though, because like I said, I'm big on Ramondre. Ramondre's inside my top 5 running back list. You could probably debate he should maybe be 6 or 7, but I would rather Zeke be there. I would rather Zeke be in New England than Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt by far. It's not even close. Love Stevenson or Gibbs in the third. Is this a 12-man league? Yeah, it's a 12-man. Okay. Is everybody in your league like pretty like? Is this a grandma league, or is this like? Are these guys, you know, in your league? Do they know what they're doing? If you have a bunch of guys in your league that know what you're doing, or you know, or know what to do, and they know the ADPs and they know value, then you're probably going to be looking at like. I would be trying to get Breece Hall right here at 35. I would try to get Breece. I would try to get Stevenson. Hopefully those guys will fall to you. One of those guys. If not what? You got... You're going to need a running back. Yeah, we've had a bunch of incredible games, man. We've had that game. We had the Buffalo Bills game a couple years ago. That was crazy. I blame that game on D Ford. D Ford lined up 3 yards offside, so that was completely his fault. We win that game if D Ford wasn't lined off offsides. $200 buy-in, say it's 50-50 on people that know what they're doing. Okay, well then, yeah, I'm trying to get a running back right here from you, dude. I'm trying to get a running back either at 35 or 38. I'm not a big fan of Mixon, but I would strongly consider Mixon in that league. Mixon's a tough guy to get behind with his legal troubles, but I don't think he's gonna get the. If something does come up of his neighbors suing him about, you know, the gun stuff or whatever, I think it's gonna get pushed off till next year, like kind of like Kamara did. Whereas like Kamara played all of last year, and then now he got the suspension this year. I think, yeah, running backs do go pretty early in the ESPN league. I would maybe think about Mixon though in a full PPR league. So I would think about it. I'm not saying get him with the 35th overall pick, but maybe at 38. And then maybe you go, I think either way you're going to go receiver, running back here. You're going to take another receiver, try to get, obviously you said Christian Watson's being kept. I would try to get like, I mean, either that or you could go quarterback. You could grab a quarterback right here. Yeah, if I were you, dude, I would try to get Saquon or Bijan with this pick right here, with pick number 9 or pick number 11. And then this is where you would take St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb, or yeah, probably St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to see Diggs probably, which is fine. I don't think it's really a big deal. Should we do another draft? I feel like I should. I'm gonna do another one. Hopefully I get a better pick here. I swear, when all these new contests that come out, every time I get into a draft, it's like they always put me in the back, dude. I'm gonna do one more draft and then I'm probably gonna call it a day, unless maybe there's some more news that comes out. Let me refresh the news tab here. See if they got anything new. Free agent running back Zeke Elliott agreed to a 1-year, $6 million deal. So $6 mill's pretty good for a backup running back. Ooh, look at this. We got pick number 1. What do you know? It's about freaking time. I mean, $6 mil it's a lot of money for a backup running back. I'm not gonna say. Can't wait for fantasy only a few weeks. Yeah, dude, I know, dude. It's crazy. I watched pretty much a ton of those preseason games over the weekend, man, and I was just like, holy cow, I can't wait for this. What's your favorite spots to draft from? Number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2 are by far the best spots to draft from. Like, it's not even a contest. I mean, I get to basically grab Justin Jefferson, who is the best receiver in the game. It's not even close, really. Chase is a close second. Kupp is kind of a close second, but Jefferson is by far, like, Justin Jefferson is basically the Randy Moss of this era. I mean, anytime you can start off your draft with Justin Jefferson, you're ahead of everybody, man. You're ahead of everybody. At that point, you just gotta reach a little bit, probably, especially with some of the ADPs right now. But I don't mind drafting from, it really just depends, man, because the ADPs have changed so much. I don't mind drafting from like the 11 or 12 spot, but I got to get guys to fall to me that I want. You can either, it can go either way for you. See that rollout throw from Malik Cunningham for the pass guy. Look, he might be a great player. Yeah, I watched a little bit of Cunningham. I know he lined up as a receiver for a little bit early in the game. I did watch that. He'll be okay. He'll be a backup for now. Well, he'll probably be the third stringer. I don't know if he'll beat Zappy out, but he's got potential. Yeah, he's got potential for sure. Hopefully, you know, hopefully they don't put him at receiver too much, because I know he wants to play quarterback and you don't want him to get banged up and everything, but there's a chance that he's going to get banged up if he's playing receiver a lot. That was a good throw. Yeah, that rollout throw for a touchdown. Yeah, that was a good throw. Stroud didn't look very good, man. Holy cow. Stroud looked... I don't know how many offensive linemen, how many first string offensive linemen they had in the game, but Stroud was like... And I wouldn't say Stroud played bad. He didn't have it. He was getting hit as soon as they hiked the ball, dude. Yeah, I mean, the Pats defense is going to be really good this year. That White guy that they drafted, he's going to be pretty good. You think Mahomes gets 7 Super Bowls? Maybe. I say he gets to like 5. I say he gets to at least 5, probably. 7 is... That's stretching it, man. 7 is so many. It's possible, but I would say, if I was a betting man, I would say no. I think he gets to 5 though. Maybe 6. 7's pushing it, dude. 7 is pushing it. Because I don't think Mahomes plays as long as Brady did. I don't think he plays to age 46. I think he plays to like 41 or 42, and that's probably about it. Yeah, I'm so glad Zeke went to the Patriots now, dude. I was worried it was going to be Leonard Fournette, and I did not want it to be Leonard Fournette for my Stevenson shares. Bijan, Mahomes, Tony Pollard goes. Who do I think is going to stop him in the AFC? The Bengals. If Burrow stays healthy, the Bengals have the best shot to stop them. The Jets, though, could have a little bit of a shot. We'll see. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year if Rodgers sticks around another year, which I think he will. Somebody just take Smith. Damn it. That sucks. Don't take my guy. Take Taylor. You... Oh my God, he took my guy. He took my guy. This is why I'm not a fan of this spot though right now. Like, you used to consistently be able to get like Ridley or Smith. I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts, and then I'm going... I don't care. I'm taking him. I'm taking him. Do the Bills scary? No. Not really. Not really. I'm taking Breece Hall, dude. I don't care. I think he's going to be ready to go. I think they're going to limit him the first 2 or 3 weeks. I've continued to tell you guys that they're going to limit Breece Hall the first 2 or 3 weeks, but at that point, after that, it's going to be full go. And he's going to be a steal. I think he's going to be a steal. He's going to, especially in best ball where you need the production towards the end of the year, weeks 15, 16, 17. That's where you need the production in best ball. And that's why I want Breece Hall, because he's going to give us that production towards the end of the year when we need him the most. In a regular league, I'm trying to get Breece Hall in like round 4 though. Like if you're in your home league, I'm trying to get Breece Hall in like round 4-ish. If you have to take him in round 3, like towards the end of round 3, then do it. Especially if it's a 12-man. If it's a 10-man, there's a chance you might see Breece Hall fall to like the middle of round 4 maybe, or maybe the beginning of round 4. All right, Kevin, man. I'll see you later, man. I'll see you on another stream probably, maybe in a day or two. We'll see. I don't know how often I'm going to be live this week, but I'm going to try to be obviously more live than I was last week. I didn't do anything. So, still sick. I'm still sick right now. I was really sick this past week. And then obviously working a ton as well. So, seeing, to me, the fact that like Taylor and Jacobs are getting taken over Stevenson right now is crazy to me. That's crazy. That's wild. I just don't even understand that. Tell you guys right now, stay away from both of these guys. Do not draft them. Do not draft Jacobs. Do not draft Taylor. Unless they're falling to like the end of round 4, beginning of round 5, don't draft them. I just don't think it's going to be smart this year. And if I'm wrong about that, then I'll die on that take, but I'm not doing it. Not doing it. All right, I'm gonna look to get it'd be really cool if like Christian Watson fell to us, but that's probably not gonna happen. Let's see what these guys do here. Well, there goes Christian Watson. We don't have to worry about that. Goes DJ Moore. That guy's gonna probably try to get Justin Fields on the way back. Joe Burrow. I did see Joe Burrow go like the beginning of round 6. I did a draft like a few days ago. I seen Joe Burrow go like 62nd overall or something. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. That guy took Christian Kirk. That's who I was going to take. These guys are taking all my guys, man. Najee's still on the board. I'm probably going to take Joe Mixon or Najee, if whichever one is there, probably. Oh, I should take them both. Najee should not be on the board. Neither should Mixon. I'm going to take both of them. I'm going to take them both. This is kind of the benefit to getting Justin Jefferson is you can wait on receiver, on like a second or third receiver. You can wait, especially because you have the last pick around 6 and the first pick around 7. So hopefully I wouldn't want Addison, but I'll take Addison if he's there, and say there's nobody else on the board that I like. Dotson should be there. I hope Dotson's there. Dotson's ADP is 74.4 or whatever. It's going to be close. Let's just hope and pray that Dotson's there, because we're going to need him. We're going to need at least a good number 2 receiver to go along with this build that we're taking here. I do like these running backs. I don't mind. I mean, Harris is a steal right here. I think this is too much value to pass on to not take him. I'll take Mixon with it. I know I'm not high on Mixon. I do think he's lost a step to a degree, but at the same time, he's getting the full workload. Nobody seems to care. Nobody's going to care about his off the field issues. He's probably going to play the whole year, as long as he doesn't go out and murder somebody tomorrow. And so I'll take him in this case. I don't have a ton of Joe Mixon, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but at the same time, I was hesitant to draft him just because of all the off the field issues that he was having, in you know, all the stuff in the news, the potential about him being cut if he didn't take the contract reduction over the offseason. That's kind of why I was so low on Mixon. But at the same time, they haven't went out and gotten anybody off the free agency market, and it seems like he's probably not going to get suspended this year. He may not even get suspended at all for any of this stuff that's going on, you know, with right now being sued over the gun thing, the road rage thing, where he threatened, you know, he allegedly threatened a woman in a road rage incident or whatever before the playoff game last year. So it's like, I don't know, man. So I guess I'll take him. I'll take him right here, I guess. Especially when his ADP is 43.0 or whatever it is. And so why not? We're getting him at pick number 49. A little bit of a discount. This is good value on Kenneth Walker right here. At the end of this, I'm going to give you guys my favorite picks for each round, and I'll give you guys some players that I would not take based off their current ADP. I'll give you guys like 2 of my favorite picks per round. I'm not going to give you guys just one, because like, obviously, I'm gonna let you guys on, like my favorite pick in round 1 is Justin Jefferson, but you're not gonna get Justin Jefferson unless you pick 1 or 2. So I'll give you guys another favorite pick, like kind of in the middle or towards the end of round 1 as well. All right, Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, Marquise Brown. This is good that these guys are going right here, because I don't want these guys. These would kind of be in my list of guys that I don't want right here in round 6 for the most part. This guy's got ETN. This is kind of probably why he took Lawrence. This guy got Herbert right here. There goes Addison. We gotta hope that Dotson hangs on here, dude. I'm really hoping that Dotson hangs on. He's got 3 receivers. He's got 3. We'll see what this guy does. There's a good chance that Dotson falls to me here. There's a good chance, I think. Akers is on the board. That helps. Oh my god, we got so lucky. So Dotson's there. We're gonna take Dotson. And I'm gonna take Goddard. A little early, but I can stack him with Hurts, and he's one of my Of all the tight ends that are on the board between him, Pitts, and Waller, I like Goddard the most. And so, especially whenever I can get him with Jalen Hurts. So we'll take that. We'll take him right there. The only other player I would have probably taken right here would have been like Montgomery. But we don't have to have Montgomery. We do have 3 running backs. It kind of sucks that 2 are on by 7. But we'll find another one. This guy just took Rachaad White over Montgomery over Connor. I don't know about that after the news today. I don't know if I would have done that. Guy's name cracks me up. You see that guy's name? That's hilarious. Guy went Gabe Davis and Michael Pittman. He's got London and Smith. He's got Josh Allen, so I understand the Gabe Davis pick there. I like this team so far. This isn't bad. I can tell you guys right now, I do not have a team that's like this. Like I've never had these combo of players for the most part. I've had Hurts and Jefferson quite a bit together, and probably Dotson, but I've had Goddard and Hurts a little bit, but then having these 3 running backs to go with Hurts and Jefferson, I don't have anything near that right now. I don't think I have one team that has a combo of that, like any of these running backs comboed together with Hurts and Jefferson. So see, this right here is just too early for me with Cook and Javonte, especially Javonte. It's just way too early. I do not understand it. Like, why are those guys going over Montgomery? This group is kind of weird. This group of people I'm drafting with. If Montgomery follows me, holy cow, it'd be the steal of the century. So this guy takes Kamara here in round 7. It's still good value. It's very good value. I don't understand this right here. Adams, Cooper, Williams, Jason, Marquise Brown. I do not like this team at all. I mean, he's got Eckler and Kamara, but this is two good picks right here. Flowers and Montgomery. This guy got Montgomery at 84. That's like stealing. That's like stealing. Call the police. That guy just stole Montgomery here at the end of round 7. I'm not like terribly sick, but I'm a little bit sick still. Stuffy nose, runny nose. He took Tua. He doesn't have any other. Does not have any other Miami guys. This guy goes Pacheco. He's waiting on quarterback, which is fine. This guy just took Deshaun Watson. Doesn't look like he has any other Cleveland players. There goes Elijah Moore. There goes Kadarius Toney, Traylon Burks. I'm hoping Sky Moore falls, but he's at the top of the list right now, so he probably won't, which is unfortunate. Sutton. This guy right here at the 2 spot's going to take Sky Moore. He's going to swipe him from me. He's going to swipe him from me. Here it comes. Here he comes. He's gonna swipe him from me. He's thinking about it. Oh my god, he didn't. We got Sky Moore, ladies and gentlemen, and Goddard in the 7 fire. You like that? Yeah. Dude, this team right here is fire. It's fire right now. Let's go Sky Moore, and then we will go... What running back do we want to take? I don't know if that guy's going to fall to me. I really want that guy, though. I want that quarterback. I'm going to take... I think this is probably one of the best running backs on the board at this point, and so... I'm going to take Brian Robinson. So what we are looking at is... This is what we are looking at right now. We're looking at Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Brian Robinson, JJ, Dotson, Sky Moore, Goddard. This is a pretty good combo of receivers right here. I don't mind those 3 guys whenever I have the running backs that I do, and I got Goddard and Hurts together. I don't know if I could have asked for a better start to this. I can't believe we got Sky Moore right there. ADP was 90. ADP is 90.9. He fell to pick 96. I thought that guy was going to snag him from me, but he did not, so that's kind of nice. I'm liking this team so far. This is... I want to try to get Daniel Jones as my second quarterback. I don't know if he's going to fall to me, though. He's going to have to fall to me. His ADP is 115.5. I have pick 120. So he should go about like right here, roughly. If he could fall to me to 120, I would be super happy. Mixon, Najee, wait. Yeah, I got those guys on a discount. I kind of had no choice. Like I said, I'm not big on Mixon, but at the same time, his ADP is 43. Najee's was 40. I'm getting at 48, 49. Like I said, I'm not huge on Mixon, but I'm coming around on him a little bit to where I'm like, okay, we can draft him. I was worried about the contract dispute. You know, they wanted him to take less money, or they were going to cut him potentially. I was worried about the off the field issues, which he still kind of has going on a little bit to a degree. But I do think he's going to get the Kamara treatment, where I don't think anything's going to happen to him this year unless they, you know, like I said, unless he goes out and like murders somebody tomorrow. I don't think anything's going to happen to him. And so, and he's getting the full workload pretty much in Cincinnati. They got rid of Pirine. They haven't signed anybody. I don't think they will sign anybody. And so I'm okay with drafting Mixon to, you know, to an extent, if you can get him, hopefully, you know, hopefully in round 5. Obviously, he goes about middle of round 4 right now, but first pick of round 5, I'll take him, especially, you know, especially when Christian Kirk is gone, London's gone. I'm not going to take Deontay that early, so not too bad. It's not too bad for getting Breece Hall, because Breece Hall, like I said, Breece Hall is going to help us down the line when we need him. And, you know, once we get to the playoffs, which we're probably, I would say this team has a good shot at getting out of the first round. So come week 15, week 16, week 17, we're going to get a fully healthy, hopefully a fully healthy Breece Hall helping us on this team as well. Which, like I said, Breece Hall is a first round talent, first round pick if it wasn't for the injury, and we're getting him in round 3. I know this is a little early, but I'm not taking DK. I'm not taking Higgins. Definitely not taking Jacobs or Taylor. The only person I would even contemplate taking over Hall at this point, you know, would have been like Stevenson. So I mean, if Ridley and Smith were there, those are the guys I'm looking at, but they went back to back right before I took Hurts, so, you know, it is what it is. Looks like P. Ryan is still on the board. We could maybe take P. Ryan if he's there. I was hoping I would take like Herbert, but Herbert, this guy already took Herbert. So this is actually pretty early for Khalil Herbert, but this guy probably needs a running back. Well, he was his third running back. He has Stevenson and Walker. He missed out on Charbonnet, the handcuff. Daniel Jones is still on the board here. When did Olave go? Would you take Waddle or Olave? When did Olave went right here 20th. Waddle went 17. This is a close one, man. It's a close one between Olave and Waddle right now. And the only reason why I say that is because Olave, I feel like Olave's going to have a lot of competition for targets if guys stay healthy. Like if Mike Thomas stays healthy, if Juwan Johnson stays healthy, it's going to be tough to it's going to be tough to project how much Olave is going to get, like how much workage he's going to get, or how much Derek Carr likes to throw him the ball. So A.T. Perry played pretty well yesterday. A.T. Perry could see some, you know, he's not really threatening for like Olave or Mike Thomas's job, but he could be the wide receiver 3 or 4 on that team this year after what he did yesterday. God, that guy just took Daniel Jones. It sucks. All right, we're going to go. This is a pretty easy, you know, these are pretty easy picks for me. I'm going to go. Somebody take Bigsby already. Wow, look how early Tank Bigsby went. That's crazy. I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid, and then I'm going to take, in my opinion, the best receiver on the board. Or it's close, but I'm going to take Zay Jones. It's close between Zay and Juju and Allen Lazard probably, but I'm going to take Zay Jones. I think Zay Jones is playing the second receiver in 2 receiver sets right now over Christian Kirk. I think they're going to put Christian Kirk in the slot a lot this year, so yeah, probably to a degree. I'll probably have to adjust my rankings a little bit. I'm not going to adjust them too much though. I would probably move Stevenson down a couple notches after today's news. Yeah, for sure. I need to move probably Kupp down a spot behind Hill with his injury stuff going on. Yeah, I haven't really touched my rankings in a couple of weeks. I feel pretty confident about the tight end rankings. I'm not going to really change those much. Same thing with the quarterbacks. I might adjust the quarterbacks around a little bit, but I don't know. I do kind of like my quarterback rank. I might adjust Burrow down a couple of notches just with his injury stuff, but I do think Burrow's still a top tier quarterback, and I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to play quite a bit, if not every single game this year. And but yeah, the running back rankings probably need to get adjusted a little bit here. I'm not really worried about Zeke though. I'm really not. Like Zeke is, like I said, Zeke is, I'm so glad that Zeke signed over like Fournette or Kareem Hunt. And I know he got $6 million, which is quite a bit of money for a backup running back. So they will use him, but they're going to use him until he breaks down. You know, they're going to use him to a degree in and out, you know, sharing time with Stevenson until he breaks down. And if he breaks down in a way that Damian Harris broke down last year, you guys seen what Stevenson was able to do. I think you see Something very, very similar. Really, Zeke is going to compete for the goal line touches. That's what it is. So, which kind of sucks because you do want running backs who score touchdowns. And Stevenson's had a little bit of issue with that, and he could have some more issues with that based off the Zeke signing. But Zeke's not going to be the guy they're using in between the 20s. You know what I mean? He's just not. He's going to be a short yardage back and a maybe a goal line back at that, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that, you know, they won't just give Stevenson the workage bell cow role, but at the same time, you know, it's a football team and they want to win. They're not worried about our fantasy production, you know what I mean? They're worried about their football team competing and having the best shot to win football games. So from a PPR standpoint, I still love Stevenson, third, fourth. Yeah, I do too. If you can get him kind of towards the back end of round 3, you know, kind of like in this 32 to maybe even 38 range. I know you're not going to get him on best ball underdog. You're not going to get him down here in the beginning of the 4th round, but in your home leagues, you might be able to get this guy in the 4th round now. Like in a home league where, you know, you're drafting towards the back, and you know, if it's a 10-man league, you might see that guy in the middle of the 4th round in a home league. If it's like a 10-man league or something, yeah, there's going to be some value on Stevenson, I think, especially if you have full PPR. Yeah, this is early for Jefferson. Wow, I can't believe Bigsby went this early. This is crazy. I would have probably taken him too. Warren's early. All these guys are going so much earlier now, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy, all these running backs that go early now. Used to be able to get like these guys like consistently down here at the end of round 12, beginning of round 13. That's just not the case anymore. All right, we got 4 running backs, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 quarterback. I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking this team right now. Hopefully these guys take some receivers right here or something. Although one of these tight ends is probably going to come off the board. There goes one. There might be another one right here, to be honest. Yeah, called it. At least they didn't take the one that I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and get a receiver or a tight end right here. I think he's the best pick really on the board right now. I'm going to take Everett. And then I'm going to go... We've seen Love fall last time. I think we could see him fall again. I'm going to take Jaden Reed again. I can't stop drafting that guy. I think he's one of the best receivers on the board at this point. Pierce is down there. I don't mind Alec Pierce. Don't mind Mingo either, but I feel like Reed's in a better scenario. Reed's in line to play more as a rookie than somebody like Mingo even, or even some of these other rookies like Rashee Rice, because he plays for the Packers, who love to play receivers that are young and that are rookies. Plus, that's really all they got on their team at this point. What tier running backs would you no longer feel comfortable starting as your running back 2? Around Swift or Antonio Gibson? Was thinking about waiting a lot on my RB2. My favorite RB2 to draft is Pierce. So, like, my favorite guy to get as a second running back is Dameon Pierce. And he usually goes, where's he at? He usually goes in round 6. Like I said, as soon as this draft is over, I'm going to go each round by round. I'm going to give you 2 guys that I love the draft from each round that are like my best picks that I would take from each round. I'm going to give you guys my favorite player of the draft in each round. I'll give you guys like 2 probably, because obviously in round 1 it's Jefferson, but you're not going to be a good Jefferson if you're drafting down here. It's just not going to happen. So at the end of the draft, I'll go over each round of my best players, like best 2 players to draft from each round. My favorite RB2 is probably Pierce. Like if I'm waiting on running back, and for the most part I do wait on running back, especially when it comes to getting my second one, I want Pierce, like, or Akers, or like Montgomery. But Montgomery's a good 3rd running back that you can get. This guy got him at the end of round 7, which was stealing. I don't want somebody like Gibson as my second running back. I feel like I waited too long if that's the case. Like if I have 9 picks, because this guy goes in about round 9 pretty steadily, Gibson does. So that means you had 9 picks and you took 2 running backs and he ended up being your second one. That means you have 1 quarterback and you probably have like 5 receivers on your team already. You don't need to have 5 receivers on your team already, unless you have like 6 flex spots in your freaking league, you know. Terrence Marshall's card offset. Yeah, I went over that at the beginning. That's a big boost for Mingo. I think Mingo is beating him out in camp anyways. I do like Mingo, and Mingo is one of my favorite receivers from this draft class. I was hoping the Chiefs would get him in the 2nd round, but they didn't. Yeah, I do like Mingo, but I do think Reed has a better fantasy outlook than Mingo does. But like this right here, 150 Mingo, yeah, that's very, very good value. It's a very good pick in my opinion. I do like Mingo. I'm gonna try to get him on one of my home league teams or whatever. I'm gonna try to get him on one of those at least. I do like Reed a lot though as well. Reed's gonna have more opportunities in my opinion in Green Bay than what Mingo will have in Carolina, and that's why I like Reed a little more as far as like, you know, drafting him over Mingo. But I mean, there's plenty of teams where I have both Mingo and Reed on the same team back when Reed was going down in like round 16. So, but yeah, we don't know the severity of Marshall's injury, so, you know, we'll see. But I do think Mingo is kind of beating him out in camp already for the most part. Mingo did play against the Jets. He didn't get the ball thrown to him at all. He wears number 15 for the Panthers, which is kind of weird because I know he's like number 1. I think he was number 1 when he was playing at Ole Miss. He kind of looks weird in number 15. Looks like somebody took Love. So see, Love fell to us. Like, I'm trying to think where Love fell to us, like at like 178 or something, I think, in the last draft, and now he's going at 148. 30 picks ahead of where I got him in the last draft. That's crazy. We do need another quarterback, so we'll get one of those here in a minute. Got 5 receivers, 4 running backs, 3 tight ends. We don't need a tight end. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna reach a little bit here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm reaching. And I know this is a reach on this guy too, but I don't really care, to be honest. So I'm going to take Gus the Bus, and then we're going to go Sam Howell. I need another quarterback. I'm going to take him. I was thinking about taking Stafford, but that guy just took Stafford, so Pickett's probably a decent option, but I do like Pickett to a degree. I have a ton of Pickett though, but I want Sam Howell because I have Jahan Dotson and I have Brian Robinson. I got some Washington players. I think Washington's going to surprise some people this year. I think Washington's going to be. I mean, it's tough because they got a tough division with the Cowboys and the Eagles, but if that defense with Chase Young coming back, if that defensive line is good, watch out for Washington this year. They could be. I don't want to say they're going to make the playoffs, but because they're probably not. Probably not going to make the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
But
you kidding me? Playoffs?
I just feel like they could be pretty good this year if Sam Howell plays good, you know. So don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? It's tough, man. If Washington played in a better division, like if they played in the NFC South, if they played with the Buccaneers and the Falcons, like they could win that division. They could compete with the Saints to win the division. I think the Saints are going to be the front runners to win that division this year, and I think the Falcons will probably contend. They'll be the next best contender, I think. I would give the Falcons the edge over the Panthers. The Bucs are going to be bottom of the division. If you're a Bucs fan and you're watching me, I'm sorry, but you guys are going to suck this. You guys suck. Terrible. It's going to be a rough year. Just find another second favorite team to cheer for this year if you're a Bucs fan, because it's going to be brutal. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. I mean, you got the injury to Rachaad White today, non-contact injury, knee buckle, Baker Mayfield as your quarterback, Kyle Trask, who was competing for the quarterback spot, he looked terrible. I don't know whose quarterback situation is worse, the 49ers or the Buccaneers. And I would say it's probably the Buccaneers because at least the 49ers have Purdy, who didn't play, who's probably the starting quarterback, who looked pretty good last year. But between Trey Lance and Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, it's terrible. But those two combos are just not good. They can't even look good playing against second string defenses. Oh my goodness, man. I still couldn't get over how bad Trey Lance looked last night. I was watching that game and was like, holy cow, this guy's terrible. This guy's missing throws left and right. He missed so many throws last night. He missed, and the one that was a touchdown, he really missed, and it was picked off, and then the guy dropped it. It came out of his hands and fell into the tight end's hands. Like, how lucky can you get? See, and I think the Niners are going to have Darnold start the first half this week, and then Trey Lance start the second half next week. So hopefully Brock Purdy just stays healthy so they don't have to worry about that, though. And see, the Niners, they don't want to get rid of Trey Lance because of all the draft capital that they spent on him, moving up to the 3rd overall pick to take him and stuff. They don't want to. That's why they don't want to trade him, because they're not going to get what they want in return for the draft capital that they spent. Basically, what they ought to do is just try to trade him now, get whatever they can, and just cut their losses. But I think Kyle Shanahan is he's just being stubborn about it, I think, for the most part. So, but it doesn't really look like Lance has progressed at all in that offense. It looks terrible. I mean, the Raiders are going to be a bad team this year, and they had a bunch of backups playing, and you know what I mean? And he did not look good at all. All right, we don't really have a lot to choose from right here. I'm going to go this guy. I think we got 5 receivers, 5 running backs. 3 tight ends. We don't really need another tight end, but I'll take that guy if he's there. They're not really giving me a whole lot to choose from. I forgot about this guy. We're gonna take this guy. I forgot about that guy. Yeah, let's take Chandler, and then let's go. Where's Quez Watkins at? We might be able to wait on Quez Watkins. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's wait on Quez Watkins. Let's take Nakua. Nakua looked really good the other night. That guy should be. I think they're saying Tutu Atwell's the receiver number 3, but Nakua is better than he is. I don't even think it's close either. Like Nakua, he looks like a steal from the draft. I don't know what round they. What does anybody know what round they got Nakua in? What round did they get Nakua in? They stole that guy though. Fifth round, 177th overall, 5th round. Yeah, that was a good pick by them. That guy's a talent. They're looking for somebody to maybe replace Cooper Kupp in the next couple of years. That could be the guy. That could be the guy, and he's got a similar build, taller receiver who runs pretty good routes, can get open, and obviously can catch the ball pretty well. I mean, that guy he's looking like a steal. They didn't even play him at all in the second half either. Like, they already knew what they had after he scored that touchdown. They're like, okay, this guy's good. Let's take him off the field. We don't need to see any more of this guy. He's earned his spot pretty much. I'd be shocked if he's not the number 3 receiver there in LA. There's no way they're giving it to Tutu Atwell over him. They're gonna have to compete for that. All right, so as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to give you guys my best 2 picks per round. Like, I'm going to give you guys the 2 picks that I would probably take the most in each round. I'm going to try to get like Quez Watkins or somebody here at the end, I think. Musgrave is still on the board. We might take Musgrave if he fell to us. I don't think he will, though. Somebody will take him. This guy's got 1 tight end, so he'll take a tight end here in a second. Come on, Brady, pick. Jimmy G. Good grief. He's going to get a second chance to take Musgrave here in a second. We'll see if he takes him. Come on, bro. It's round 18. We don't need a 30, a full 30 seconds to make a pick. It's the last round. Come on. Zach Ertz. He took Zach Ertz instead of Musgrave. I can't believe that. Somebody take Dell already? Yeah, that guy took Dell in round 16. That's good value on Isaiah Hodgins right there. 183. Evan Hull. Kyron Williams, that's a bad pick. Kyron Williams, don't take that guy. He should have taken like Josh Kelly or hell, even Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He should have taken him over that guy. I might take a chance on Clyde, maybe. I might take a chance on Clyde. I do want Quez Watkins, though. I need another receiver. How many receivers I got? 6. Yeah, we might as well. I'm going to take Quez Watkins. We need another receiver. I might as well get one that plays for the Eagles, who's technically a starting receiver, so. All right, let me refresh it. All right. So my favorite picks in each round, okay? Round 1, it's Justin Jefferson, clear cut. I know you're not going to get him though unless you have like one of the first 2 picks. If I had to give you guys another one, I'm gonna say here, let me find the ADPs actually. I don't want to give you guys somebody that's not currently in the ADPs of the top 12 or whatever. All right, so ADP wise, so JJ would be 1, and then the second one I would tell you guys to take, obviously it depends on your league. If we're talking best ball, I would probably give you a different answer than say like your home league that's like full PPR. Let's just say full PPR, okay, for disclosure. I don't really think half PPR. I think most leagues are probably full PPR, so let's go full PPR. Jefferson's 1, and then I would probably want Tyreek Hill as number 2. If you guys wanted me to give you a running back, I would say Bijan or Eckler. It's kind of a toss-up. I wouldn't take McCaffrey where his ADP is. I think it's too high. I don't really care for some of these receivers that are down. You know, I'd rather have Tyreek or Jefferson over these other guys like Diggs, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb. So Hill and Jefferson would be the 2 guys, and if we're talking full PPR, Hill and Jefferson would be the 2 guys I want in round 1. Round 2, scroll down here. We're not even gonna. I mean, we can maybe consider CeeDee Lamb, but he's 11.5. So round 2, St. Brown is probably the first one I want. The second one I want is Barkley or Pollard. It just depends on who's there. If you're drafting towards the back, I want Pollard or I want Barkley. I don't mind a quarterback in round 2, but I want quarterbacks in round 3. So St. Brown in round 2, and then Barkley or Pollard. I would probably say Barkley 1, Pollard 2. It's close. So that's technically 3 guys, but it would be either or of those guys as your second guy, depending on who's there, who's not. Round 3, obviously I would want Mahomes to fall to me in round 3, but he's technically a round 2 guy. So round 3, Jalen Hurts is number 1. Number 2 is Breece Hall. It's close though. It's close between Hall and say somebody like Ridley. But if you're okay with weathering the storm for 3 weeks of them maybe limiting Breece Hall with limited carries, if you're okay with that, then Breece is a steal, I think, in round 3. He's a guy who should be a round 1 guy if you take away the injury from last year. And I think that of all the guys that are hurt, that are coming off of an injury from last year, coming off the knee injury, ACL or an MCL, ACL combined, Hall's got the best chance to get back to form versus Javonte. I know they're saying Javonte looks good, this and that, but Hall, in my opinion, has the best chance to overcome the injury and still maybe get back to, you know, his form throughout the year at some point and look really, really good. If this is best ball, it's Breece Hall by far, because of best ball, you need guys to contribute week 14, 15, 16, 17, and so Breece Hall is going to be one of those guys once he gets past the injury, once he gets the workload later in the year. But even in a normal league that's full PPR, my two guys I want are Jalen Hurts. I take Jalen Hurts in round 2 or 3, or, you know, if he's there in round 3, I'm taking Jalen Hurts like every single time. And then Breece Hall would be my next best pick. Calvin Ridley's close. I think Ridley's ADP is a little high. Remember, Ridley used to go like down here where Debo and Jackson are, and now he's going up here. So although I still like him, I wish I could get him kind of down here at the end of round 3, beginning of round 4 versus now. Another guy who's kind of close is Devontae Smith, but Devontae Smith's a round 2 guy technically now. If Smith was there in round 3, he would kind of be in the conversation as well for me. All right, round number 4. Lamar's not really a round 4 guy, so we'll take him out. So round 4, Christian Watson would be the first guy that I want. And then the second guy I want is probably, man, it's close here. I'm going to say it's probably Mixon right now. I would have told you guys something different a month ago. I would have told you guys like Najee. It's close between Najee and Mixon. I'm not going to lie. It's close. I think Najee's going to have a better year. I think the offensive line is going to be better. But Mixon, the reason why I was so low on Mixon was because he had the off the field issues. They were talking about potentially cutting him if he didn't take the pay reduction, and so I was not quite as high on Mixon at that point in time. Now that we know that he's the number 1 guy, he obviously is a little bit older. I do think he's lost a step, but he is getting the full workload, and he's a guy who's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. So even in a full PPR league, he's going to probably be within the top 12 running backs, I would think, you know, catching the ball as long as he stays healthy. So yeah, but Najee's a close second. Like, he's very, very close. So yeah, give me Watson 1, and then Najee or Mixon is like your second guy. All right, round 5. Technically Burrow. This is technically round 5, kind of. If Burrow's there in round 5, this is 48.6, so it's technically like 48 is the last pick of round 4. If Burrow is there in round 5, he would be clear-cut number 1. Let's just take Burrow. Let's just say Burrow's a round 4 guy, even though his ADP kind of says otherwise. Let's say Burrow's round 4. So round 5, it would be Herbert. Herbert would be 1. And then 2 would be Christian Kirk. It's close though. It's close between a couple of other players. I would say it's Herbert's 1 definitely. Let's say Joe Burrow's in round 4. Herbert's 1, and then 2 would be, yeah, it'd be Christian Kirk. All right, round number 6. This starts after Godwin, so Marquise Brown would be the first guy. So the first guy I would take at around 6 would be Dameon Pierce, and then the second guy would be I really like Trevor Lawrence, but it's between Trevor Lawrence and Cam Akers. Lockett's kind of close, but his ADP is a little high, you know, higher than some of these other guys. If you're looking middle, yeah, it's Akers and Pierce. Lawrence would be a close third place if you needed a quarterback. Let's say you get to round 6 and you need a quarterback. Lawrence is the guy. Because at that point, you're waiting until Deshaun Watson down here at that point. All right, let's go to round 7. Round 7 is going to be 72. So anybody that's after ADP 72. So Pittman doesn't make the list, neither does Pickens. So round 7, my first guy would be Dotson, hands down. My second pick would be Montgomery. Goddard's a close third, but it's Dotson and Montgomery. The reason why I took Goddard over Montgomery in this past draft was because I didn't need another running back. So I took Goddard to get a tight end. But in round 7, it's Dotson and Montgomery. It's not even, I don't even have to think about it, to be honest. Goddard's a close third, though. All right, round 8. This is pick 85 or more. So we'll start off with, I guess, we'll throw Deshaun Watson in there. So Deshaun Watson all the way down to Evan Ingram. Kamara would be number 1. And then number 2 would be probably Sky Moore. Kamara 1, Sky Moore 2. A close third would be, if we're talking full PPR, it would maybe be Cook or Pacheco. Probably Cook. But give me Kamara as 1, and my second best guy to take in round 8 would be Sky Moore. Let's go to round 9. It's right here. Bateman all the way down. Round 9. Round 9. First guy I would want to take is it's 96 all the way down to 108. The first guy I want is, and like this all kind of depends on what you need, to be honest. Give me AJ Dillon as my first guy to take. And then as my second guy, I want David Njoku, who's all the way down here. He's kind of towards the end of round number 9. So Njoku is number 2. Number 1 would be AJ Dillon. This kind of depends on what you need, though. In best ball, Richardson is a fine pick if you take him as your second quarterback and you're looking for the upside for one particular week. But if we're talking a regular league where I'm just starting one quarterback and I actually have to set my lineup and it's full PPR, I want Njoku as a tight end and I want AJ Dillon as a running back. I don't really care for these receivers. I'm not looking. If I'm looking to draft one of these guys as my number 2 or even number 3 receiver, I made a mistake at this point, in my opinion. So, round number 10. This is 108 all the way down to 120. So the first pick, it'd be Pat Freiermuth all the way down. Like I said, this just it kind of depends on what league you're in. In a regular league, I'm taking Herbert number 1, and then number 2 would be who else is on this list? Kincaid's down there. Herbert would be 1. Daniel Jones would probably be number 2 if I needed a quarterback. Or if I want a second quarterback, say it's super flex or say it's best ball and I can start, I can start any quarterback based on how they perform. Number 2 would be Jones. Herbert would be a clear cut number 1. You could maybe debate Kincaid though if you're in a regular league and you need a tight end. So Kincaid would be a close third, probably my second choice if I was in a regular league and I needed a tight end, obviously. Once again, don't really care too much for the receivers right here. I think there's better ones that are down here that you can get later. Round 11. Number 1 is Zay Jones. So this is what? This is from 121 all the way down to like what? 132? 133 or whatever? 121 to 133. So Zay Jones would be number 1. Number 2 is Tank Bigsby. I would say somebody else because Bigsby was a guy who was drafted like all the way down here, like in round 13 or whatever. But now he's going so high up here. My first option would be Zay Jones. My second option would be Bigsby. They're both Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking both of those guys. Those would be my first. I don't even have to think about it. Nobody else is even really remotely close. The next closest guy would be maybe Jamal Williams, maybe, but not really. All right, next round. This would be round 12, right? So Jaylen Warren on down. And this round, give me Jaylen Warren as number 1. And then give me Rondell Moore as number 2. Those would be my top 2 guys. And it really doesn't even matter what league it is. All right, 144 all the way. Well, 144 would be technically he would count as round 13. So 144 to what? What is it? 156 or whatever. 155. Let me just double check. So round 13, 145 to 156. So we can't even consider scaling. 145 to 156, give me Gerald Everett as number 1. And then give me... God, this is like not a whole lot to choose from. Give me Derek Carr as number 2 if I need a quarterback. If you don't need a quarterback, give me Alec Pierce is number 3. Alec Pierce barely makes the list. He's 156.0. So yeah, give me Everett as number 1, and then depending on what you need, if you need a receiver, take Pierce. If you need a quarterback, take Carr. And then yeah, those are the only things I'm really interested at that. I did like Laporta, but Laporta is going too high now. Laporta used to be like all the way down here where Taysom Hill is. Now he's kind of way up the board. I like those other guys more than Laporta now, you know, in that particular round. Round number 14 here, which is 157 to 168. Give me, my first option would be, and like this really just kind of depends on what you need. .168's the cutoff, so Jaden Reed does not qualify. Give me, I want Hodgins out of all these players. Give me Hodgins as 1. And then my second player that I would maybe want, it depends on what you need. If you need a quarterback, then I would tell you to take probably, it's a toss-up between Love and Stafford. It's really close. I would probably take Stafford, but if Stafford's gone, I would take Love. If you don't need a quarterback, number 2 would be probably Irv Smith. Taysom Hill is better though in best ball, so it's pick your poison. But if we're talking full PPR, normal league, no best ball, give me Hodgins 1, give me Stafford number 2. All right, round number 15, 169 to 180. First pick would be Reed by far. It's not even close. The second pick would be probably Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears would be number 2. Dalvin to the Jets? No way. Shut up. That just happened. Dalvin Cook to the Jets? That sucks. I don't see it. I don't see it on my news wire. I don't see it on the news wire, Randy.
You are fake news.
Is it on ESPN already? Yep, just happened. Okay, I'm gonna believe you then. You are fake news. No. Man, it's you guys are on it so quick that it hasn't even come across Fantasy Pros yet. That's crazy. Dalvin Cook, 1-year deal with the Jets, just came across Underdog. Man, that changes things in New York now about Breece Hall. That sucks. I was really hoping he would go to Adam Schefter. I was really hoping Dalvin would go down to Miami, bro. I was really hoping. Well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me finish my top 2 players per round. So like I said, in round 15, it's Reed and it's Tajay Spears. If Spears is gone, you could maybe think about Zeke or think about Gus Edwards. ESPN and Matthew Berry announced it. Nice. But we'll talk about that here in a minute then. Round number 16, 181 to 192. Round 16, give me Juwan Johnson as number 1. The fact that his ADP is down here is crazy. What's that? That's the 192. So Juwan Johnson would be 1. My next best pick for you guys would be... Gosh, Tank Dell doesn't make the list. It would be Dell, but Dell doesn't make the list. I would reach for Dell, if I'm being honest with you guys. He would be my next best guy. I wouldn't take any of these other guys. Maybe Bryce Young if you needed a third quarterback in best ball. So many running back committees, bro. It's so whack. I know, dude. This is gonna be a tough year for running back. This is gonna be a tough year. We're just gonna have to guess in some of these two-headed monsters that they got on a lot of these teams. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough sledding when it comes to picking some of these guys. I would say those things do increase Pollard and Barkley's value and Chubb's value, though. So, because people aren't going to want anything to do with those running back committees, so they're going to go after those guys instead. So, it kind of puts more of a premium on somebody like Barkley, Chubb, Pollard, Bijan. Bijan's kind of a part of a committee, but we don't really know. You know, I don't know. We just don't even know. I mean, Bijan didn't even play in the first preseason game, so. Manage leads, yeah. Where you have to set your lineup, yeah, it's gonna suck. You're gonna be. I don't want to say hopefully, but I would kind of pump the brakes on it. There's gonna be some injuries that happen at some point early in the season, and so we'll probably know more. That's the way it always goes, though. All right, round 17, 193 to 204. Tank Dell is on this list. I would take Tank Dell and Sam Howell. Musgrave's a close third if you need a tight end, though, especially in best ball. But those would be, Tank Dell and Sam Howell would be my top guys in round 17 to take from. And then 205 on down would be the last round. 205 on down. Chandler's on this list, so give me Chandler. He barely makes the cut, 205.3. Give me Chandler and give me You could really take just about anybody down here. I would say give me... Give me Chandler and then give me whoever that you need to like fit on your team. If you need a receiver and say you got like Philly players, go get Quez Watkins. Nakua, you could take Nakua. If you like Michael Wilson, take Michael Wilson. You know what I mean? This could be anything, but Chandler would be my first guy. I think there's a reason why he's like barely making the cut here. Chandler is a good backup running back. He's probably the last good backup running back that's like even on the board at this point. Kelly could be okay maybe if something happens, but yeah, Henry's value is going to go up as well. Shorty, yeah, for sure. Gosh, dude, I can't believe that. I can't believe Dalvin Cook is going to the freaking Jets. I thought that he would after the odds changed like a week and a half ago. I thought there was a chance that he was probably going to be a New York Jet, which kind of sucks for Breece Hall, I'm not going to lie. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I wonder how much money they gave him. Do we know yet? They don't even have the news on here yet, bro. What are these guys are lacking. Miles Sanders wasn't at practice today. He continues to struggle with the groin injury. Yeah, bro, I was do I keep Breece Hall or TJ Hawkinson now? You know, this is funny. This is funny because I feel bad. I don't really feel bad for you because I'm in the same boat that you are, dude. I have Breece Hall as a keeper in my league as well. I don't know if I'm going to keep him. Of course, my league's a little different because mine's auction league, where we have a budget, a $200 budget or whatever. And Breece Hall's pretty, I wouldn't say he's expensive, like super expensive, but he's expensive enough to where I'm second guessing whether or not I should keep him now that, you know, especially now that Dalvin Cook is there. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. So here, I'll show you guys like I'll show you guys my team here. So like this is my team, my sleeper league. This is a auction league. So you see we have dollar amounts. This dollar amount is going to change though once the keepers get locked into the lineup. And obviously I have Trevor Lawrence for $6. I have Olave for $16. And then Breece Hall is $35 to keep. So Breece Hall is a lot. Usually, like a lot of these good running backs in this league, they go for about 50 bucks. So 35 is a little cheap for somebody of Hall's caliber. It's not super expensive for his caliber, for how good he is. But coming off the injury, now the Dalvin Cook news, I'm kind of leaning towards probably not keeping him. Just because it's auction and I could probably draft him for cheaper if I let him go. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to probably try to draft Breece Hall in this league, but I'm going to try to get him for cheaper if I let him go. Like, he's not probably going to go for $35 if I let him go, especially now that Dalvin Cook's there. So I'm going to probably let Breece Hall go. This is the NFL. It's going to be double down on RBs. Make sure they last the season. After Todd Gurley, team said no more, LOL. I wouldn't say rest in peace to Breece Hall. You guys are jumping the gun. You guys are freaking out a little bit. Don't freak out on this. This isn't the end of the world. There's still injuries that could occur. I will say in best ball, you know, I'm not gonna do another draft tonight. I might do some drafts tomorrow. I'm gonna wait for this news to kind of settle, so maybe people like if I can get Breece Hall in round 4, especially in the middle of round 4 in underdog, I'm taking him every time. Yeah, this is kind of crazy, man. I can't believe that just happened while we were going over that. Here it is. There it is. They don't even have any details, bro. More details soon. Okay, well, we'll come back to it. Yeah, I'm probably going to get rid of Breece Hall. I'm not going to keep him in this auction league. I'm not going to pay $35 for him whenever I can probably get him for like 20 now in this league. I might even be able to get him for less than that. We'll see. I don't have a bunch of grandmas in this league. These guys kind of do know what they're doing. I mean, this guy's keeping Jefferson, Chase, and Wilson, for crying out loud. But, Pollard, Saquon, Chubb, Henry, Eckler, workhorse. Eckler's not really a workhorse, though. He's just going to get the ball thrown to him a lot. Eckler hasn't topped 1,000 yards in the season. I wouldn't really say he's a workhorse, but he is going to get the ball thrown to him out of the backfield a lot. Wouldn't pick Hall anything after round 4 or 5. You mean before? You mean before round 4 or 5? Yeah, I wouldn't take Hall in round 3 anymore. Don't take Hall in round 3 anymore. I'm glad I got Najee and I got like Mixon on that team that I just drafted. If we go over this team that I just drafted, this team I just drafted, I'm glad. I mean, for the most part, I got Breece, I got Harris, Mixon, Brian Robinson. These guys are kind of dart throws here at the bottom, but I'm glad I got these 3 guys to go with Breece, though. I still wouldn't freak out about this to a degree. This is going to be tough to get him in like a regular managed league. I would wait on him until round 4 at the very, very least. I would not take him in round 3 anymore at all, especially if you're in a 10-man. If you're in a 10-man, do not take him in round 3. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I got Harris and Mixon super late here. This is good for me. I do like Hall still in best ball. It's a little different in a managed league. In a managed league, you're going to have to, I don't want to say you pass on him, but maybe like in a managed league, you can maybe trade for him a certain week and maybe you could benefit that way. I would not obviously take him in round 3 though with this news. There's no way. Because his value is going to drop and his ADP is going to drop automatically from this. Yeah, James Conner could be a pretty good late running back to take. He's going to get workage. The question about James Conner, though, is how long does he last until he gets hurt? Sir Grapefruit says, I got a work league auction in a few weeks. I'm planning on getting Lamar for 20, hopefully Andrews for 20. Yeah, well, if you get Andrews for 20, then take him and run for the hills. Gonna target St. Brown, Devontae, and Olave. Yeah, I like St. Brown and Devontae a lot. I like both of those guys more than Olave. I'm gonna try to get Devontae in this league. Of course, I have keepers. We have 3 keepers in our league. People can keep up to 3 people. So, like Jackson, he's off. Like a lot of the good players you guys are thinking of, they're off the board. Of course, this guy's paying out the wazoo for these 3 players. He's gonna have like $40 left. 1 year, $8.6 million. $8.6 million. Ooh, that's a lot of money. That's more than Zeke. Zeke only got 6. Rather get kicked in the balls and draft James Conner. Hey, Conner, you never know, man. Conner could be a guy. I'm not saying Conner's, I don't want him as my number 1 or number 2 running back, but if you give him as a number 3, especially in best ball, it's not, I don't think it's a bad option. He has no competition in his backfield. Yeah, James Conner, like I said, if you get James Conner as your 3rd running back and you got 2 solid guys in front of him, especially in a best ball league, you're fine. And then if you get like a Bigsby as like your 4th running back or something like that, you're fine. Yeah, Eckler could probably, yeah, he's not a workhorse, but he'll be a workhorse in Kellen Moore's system and just in the system that they have in general. He's gonna probably catch a lot of balls again this year, as long as he stays healthy. Yeah, this is gonna make this a little more interesting. I do have Kenneth Walker on this team, I might switch this to Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is only $13 to keep in this league for me. So I could switch to Kenneth Walker and save $22 on my budget. So I may consider doing that now that Hall is got Dalvin Cook in the backfield with him now. So I think people are gonna, I'm telling you guys right now, people are gonna overblow this Dalvin Cook stuff. I know Cook is good, and I know he's getting 8.6 million reportedly. Yeah, it says agreed to terms 1-year deal with New York Jets, ending his free agency tour. Doesn't say the money, but if you guys say 8.6 million, I'll believe you guys. I'm sure that's probably what it is. But I mean, if Cook has an injury, I mean, and injuries can happen at any point in time, and I think regardless, Breece Hall is going to be the guy whenever he comes back. Like, whenever he comes back fully ready to go, he's going to be the guy. Like, they're going to split time to a degree. You know, they're pretty much going to split time, but they're going to prefer Breece Hall over Cook, I think, for the most part. I mean, they're going to use both guys, obviously, but when it came to like depth chart wise, who's number one on the depth chart, it's going to be Breece Hall whenever he's full ready. I'd be shocked if they were. I mean, they're going to use Cook more in the first 3 or 4 weeks. I can guarantee you that, because they're going to ease Breece Hall into the action, and you know, so Cook's going to get most of the work the first few weeks. But who's more prone to injury? I would say it's probably Cook with all the injuries he's had with that shoulder. I mean, Breece is obviously coming off the ACL, which he's prone to injury for that. But yeah, I'm not drafting him in the 3rd round anymore. I'd like to get him in round 4. Heck, even the end of round 4 would be awesome. Heck, he might even drop into the 5th round after this news, because people are like, okay, he's coming off the ACL and he's got Dalvin Cook there now. I'm definitely not drafting him. He might even fall to the 5th round, which would be a home run if you got him in round 5. In a managed league, though, like I said, it's tough, especially if you have auction or if you just have redraft managed league. I would say I'm still probably getting him in round 4 or the beginning of round 5, but I'm making sure I got other guys in front of him, if that makes any sense. Like, you got to make sure you got at least one really good running back, if not maybe a couple. So, but it's a gamble. It's a gamble nonetheless, because we don't know. Like, it's the same thing with a Stevenson. We don't know how, like, does anybody think that Zeke is going to make it the whole year without getting injured if he's playing a decent amount of snaps? I don't think so. There's no way I don't think he makes it the whole year without having some kind of injury pop up. More interested in Stevenson than Breece. Yeah, after this news, I am too. I may try to go get Stevenson in this league versus Breece, maybe just because of the news now. It's, you know, it's all a gamble at the end of the day, especially when you got 2 running backs in the same backfield that are pretty good. You're gambling on who you think's going to miss the most time, basically, or who's going to be more involved in the offense at the end of the day. And so, like I said, in best ball, am I still going to try to get Breece in like round 4, maybe even round 5? Yes, especially if he's there in round 5. Like, if you have like the 3rd or 4th pick and he swings all the way around to you in round 5, yeah, I'm taking him. Because if something happens to Cook, it's going to be a steal. And Cook is going to be 28 this year. You know, Cook's had some injuries of his own as well, so it's not like Cook is like Bijan or something coming out of nowhere out of the draft, and just like, oh my god, now they got two really, really good guys, and they're both super young. Cook's got some mileage on him, and Cook's not as good of as a pass catching back as somebody like Breece Hall either. Breece Hall's going to catch more balls out of the backfield than he will. So, but they're both very, very talented runners between the tackles as well. So, very, very interesting now that, I mean, I might as well go ahead and I'm probably going to keep Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker needs to hurry up and come back from his injury, man. My keepers lock in 9 days on August 22nd, so they're sharing the backfield decreases the odds of injury for both. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Randy. It does. Like I said, they're going to ease Breece into the action. Like I said, expect Breece Hall to probably not have very many touches the first 3 or 4 weeks. I like what the Jets are doing with Breece Hall, and I don't like the scenario of Dalvin being in there, but I do kind of like it because I'm getting a discount on Breece now. I'm getting a discount with him. A big discount with him. Especially in this auction league. I'm going to get a huge discount on him. So, take away free agents. Hall. I mean, if we go back, like I said, we go back and look at Breece's game log. I mean, he didn't do much. Didn't really do much the first 3 weeks anyways last year. 45% of the snaps, 27% of the snaps, 51%, and then he started to get the workload after the Cincinnati game, and he was still on his way to being easily a top 5 running back. So what if something happens to Cook in week 3 or something, and he misses like a significant amount of time, and then Breece is like ready to go week 4? All the people who were out on Breece Hall because of this news, they're gonna regret it. And so in best ball, am I still drafting him if I can get him in like the end of round 4, the beginning of round 5? Yeah. Or like you said right here, yeah, if you're in a home league, or if you're in a league where you manage a team, maybe well, here's the thing, you're gonna have to trade for him though before the Dalvin Cook news. If like say Cook misses some time, you're gonna have to trade for him before the news of that happens. You're gonna have to trade for him ahead of time before the injury. You're gonna have to take a gamble, because by the time, let's say Cook gets injured, say like a certain week, the person who has Breece Hall is not going to trade him at that point, Pains me to stay away from Breece Hall, but I might have to. Dalvin Cook will eat the first few weeks. He'll be okay. I don't know if he'll eat, but he'll be okay. He'll be I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, Hall is, like I said, we don't really have the news on Hall yet. I was thinking Hall would be coming back to practice either this week, if not definitely next week. And Hall is so talented, man. It sucks for him that this just happened, but at the same time, there's pros and cons to every scenario, and the pro to this scenario is that we're going to get him at a discount, especially if you're in an auction league. It kind of like, yeah, in redraft, I might kind of staying away from him a little more than I will this auction league. 100%. In this auction league, it's going to be different because I can just bid on him. I can bid a dollar amount. So if I get him for super cheap, which I don't know how cheap he'll go for, he'll probably go for 20, maybe a little less than 20 would be ideal. I would hope. I don't know. People in my league may not let that fly because they know he's good. But he's definitely not going to go for 30, 35, which 35 is what I would have to keep him for this year. He's not going to go for that. There's no way. If he does, I'll be pissed off and I'll be shocked. But that's crazy, man. I was about a week late on the Dalvin Cook news. I was about a week and a half late. I thought the Cook news would come down like 9 or 10 days ago, but my guess is that the Jets kind of jumped on this offer. Like they jumped at maybe giving him a little more than what they were willing to give him, probably because they wanted to get him before the Colts or like the Saints, like with Kendre Miller going down. You know, there's some of these teams that got some injuries going on around the league, and so they were like, okay, if we want this guy, we need to go get him now before another running back or two gets injured from another team. And then they offer him something that we're unwilling to offer him, and then, you know, we need to get him on contract and on the team before something like that happens. That would be my guess as to the reason why they're making this move. Because you got to think, Miles Sanders is having an issue with the groin, so is Kenneth Walker. Kendre Miller just went down. The Saints have a pretty thin running back room right now. You know, there's other places as well that probably, you know, they could use Dalvin Cook as a running back. And so my guess is the Jets are like, okay, let's go ahead and give him what he wants, or give him a little more than what we were willing to give him initially, and let's get him on the roster before somebody else, you know, takes him out from under our feet, basically. That would be my guess as to why they went out and got him. Or maybe Breece Hall isn't as far along as what they wanted him to be, and so they're like, maybe it would just be best to go get Dalvin Cook just to make sure, if you know, to make sure Breece Hall's not ready to go, we got somebody. So, although I will say Michael Carter, he didn't look too bad against the Panthers on Saturday. So Chuba Hubbard might be a steal for your home league. Yeah, maybe he can. I mean, you can get Chuba Hubbard for free, basically, probably in your home league. You can get him probably around 14 or 15, you know, depending on how many rounds you have. Most drafts only have about 15 or 16 rounds, like in a home league. So yeah, you could probably get Chuba Hubbard for free pretty much if you want him. His ADP is going to come up though if, say, come the end of the month, you know, Sanders has a lingering issue of the you know, his groin injury. Hubbard's ADP is going to climb by that point. People are going to be on to him. So, well, I hate to go on this news. We've been live for 3 hours now. I've done 2 drafts. We've went over some news we just talked about, you know, Dalvin Cook news, which is 8.6 million, it says right there. And we talked about Sanders, we talked about Zeke. We had some breaking news come down while we were live, so this is pretty crazy. And we all, you know, obviously we talked about Jonathan Taylor and Kendre Miller, J.K. Dobbins, those guys. We will talk more tomorrow, probably whenever I do a stream tomorrow. I'll probably do a stream tomorrow after I get done working out in the afternoon, and then we'll talk more about this, you know, Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott signing finally somewhere. So it looks like, am I going to stream later? Probably not, man. I'm probably not. I got to go to work tonight, so I'm not going to be on tonight. I'll be on tomorrow though. We'll probably do another draft or two. Hopefully, you know, people hope, you know, I want to wait for the news to kind of circulate throughout the fantasy world and the fantasy industry anyways. That way Breece Hall, like if I jumped in the draft right now, Breece Hall will probably go in round 3. If I give it 24 hours though, I'm assuming he's gonna start sliding at least in the round 4 at the very least. And so we'll be on tomorrow. We'll talk about Zeke. We'll talk about Dalvin Cook. We'll talk about what we're going to do next because of those moves. And if you guys have any other questions for me tomorrow, you know, like I said, we're going to do a draft, and we'll probably, I'm going to mess with my rankings before I go live tomorrow as well. And like I said, whatever news maybe breaks tomorrow, we'll talk about that as well. So it's crazy, man. Fantasy football's almost here, man. It feels like it's like tomorrow. That's all the stuff that's going on with the preseason. You know, the first week of preseason. These 2 pieces of news that came down today with, you know, big name guys in the backfield. Like I said, we got a a lot to dissect as far as what we're going to do in fantasy this year, with all these moves that are being made and all these guys signing on teams that we weren't really expecting. So gosh, it's a shame that he didn't go down to Miami, man. I was hoping he would go down to Miami. So enjoy the stream. Yeah, man, I will catch you guys tomorrow, and I'm gonna call it a day. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Probably you guys go over to Smitty's stream or whatever. Smitty's probably gonna be live here in a minute, or he probably already is. So I am out of here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.